Ch2, Dragons in the Dining Room.
Hello!
Hi.
We're not
Does
sick.
my drama point carry over?
I will get to that. It's
Okay.
a little bit strange. So, welcome. This is DM RepinWolf, and we are in...
The cow says moo.
Right now,
Loxie's phone, it says.
we are back in a campaign called The Wanderers. It took a short break, so that way we could try to get finished with Curse of Strahd, and that's coming to an end, as you guys know. So we're not doing that tonight because a few of the players can't be here at the moment, so we're going to step right into mine for a little bit, and then we'll go back to Curse of Strahd when we're ready. Alright, great. So, for anybody who was here, or anybody who watched the finale of the last episode of this, I'm going to sort of walk back that last half hour. I got a little zealous about life on Ravnica right away, and that didn't happen yet.
Oh, so we don't get to meet Jace?
Nope.
Differently. Something else is going to happen. So,
That's okay with me because I wasn't here, so.
yes. So we're right back where we left off. The Queen Remedy is dead. Revealed to be the demonic creature, the Legrim, that feeds on desire. The world fades away, and we have our original cast, Andrast and Kaelin, and Xanthip with 9, and Allure. 9 and Allure.
Yes.
Velix, unfortunately, didn't make it because he was from that land that they were in. He sort of faded away with that.
Hey, Wolfie.
Hello. Hi. So, given the fact that the three of you are here, I'm certain what your decisions are going to be, but just for the sake of the role play, I'm going to go over this one more time. In this sort of ethereal white nothingness that was very similar to how it all started, the three of you at the table, so Andrast, Kaelin, and Xanthip, you all... Oh, already?
No.
You jerk.
I had a sticky note on my thing that said Spirit Guardians, so we took it off.
You got this.
And that's how it starts.
If you need me to sit here with a spray bottle while you
Okay.
intro, I'll totally do that for
Hey,
you.
Patrick.
What's
I have
that?
a
Hey, honey.
sticky note from last time that says
Y'all
if she
do
has
this
enough
to me.
spell slots, Spirit Guardians from Andras.
Yeah, but you have years of experience. See, she said, and that just means we think you can handle it. If not, just let me know and I'll back you.
I love you.
Yeah, you certainly do, don't you?
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
You've been getting back at her.
Oh
with
yeah.
Spirit Guardians.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's like your guys' play fight spell.
Okay. So, Andrast, you are floating in this whiteness by yourself. You do see. Sorry, in a little while I gotta get that name back. I believe it's
Randall?
Randall. Yes, correct. Great. Yes, you see Randall and Sid, and they both. So you have this pull. To your right is this large, borderless city. You see spire upon spire, streets upon streets, and to your left you see your home of Waterdeep. You see Randall and Sid. They float to the left. And which way are you going? To the right. To the right. To the right.
To the right, to the right.
Okay. All of you can kind of see also that Allure and 9 do this float to the right as well. Xanthip, which way are you going?
I am going to do like those guys in the squirrel suits and just put my arms behind me and nosedive towards Ravnica.
Towards the big city?
Towards the
Okay.
giant city with all the new stuff.
Great.
Show
I
off.
smell opportunity.
Yes.
Xanthip, you see Risa also floating to the
I
right.
will kind of steer myself to see if I can point toward
It's
her.
a big distance, but you see her kind of
I'm going to kind of
listing.
try and...
Correctly in the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
You see her in the distance. Middle fingers.
I would expect that from her.
So that leaves me at Kaylin. You see pretty much most of your friends. A few of them head to the left. Most of them go towards this new huge city. Which way is Kaylin going?
Do I see my brother?
You do see Donald, and what happens is you remember that in Waterdeep he had a hard time using his legs.
Yep.
And in where you were, he was able to use his legs.
Yeah, he was able to walk and move and fight like he wanted to.
Exactly. You see him start listing to the right. And as he does, and he gets further away from this demi-plane that you're in, you realize that his legs kind of revert back to the way they were. He doesn't look like he made a mistake, but it looks shocking. He almost forgot that was the way it was. And you can see that he doesn't necessarily get into like a fetal position, but he was walking, and now he's kind of floating, frontal mass first. You can see his legs kind of bend back a little bit.
So he's going towards the
Ravnica.
Ravnica.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you see your brother heading towards the big city.
Brothers are such a pain. Shoom, towards the city.
All right.
Seeing what Xanthip does, I'm going, that looks like fun. After I say, brothers are a pain. Pretty much.
Okay.
As the wind flies by and you go,
So you head towards this, and before I go any further, I apologize to my other 3 players right now, Tim and Nina and Zach. It's going to be a little while before we get to you guys.
That's
fine.
I'm still,
Okay.
You do your thing, we'll just talk.
Okay.
But anyways, what were you doing? How was your day?
How was your quarantine?
I have to get through a few things first. So,
I washed my hands about the same amount of times I usually do, which is 50 million times a day. So.
okay. Andrast, Kaelin, and Xanthip, you can see yourselves, and then you sort of get overcome by this really bright light, and sound is muted. You've like gotten out of the water, and you have water in your ears. You hear this. You can hear yourself breathing. You can hear your blood moving in your own body.
That's annoying.
And the 3 of you lose sight of Nine and Allure. They are heading this way, but you lose sight of them. So after this blinding light goes away, like you guys are coming down like missiles, you can see the massive amount of architecture everywhere. And you are coming down quick to a city street. You realize you pass through this black cloud cover. It's not a sunny day. It is. There's a black, like a dark cloud cover across the entire city, or at least where you're at.
Like Midwesterners step outside and be like, "There's a tornado coming in 3 days."
Maybe not tornado level, but it's definitely stormy. It's not raining. It's just not bright.
I smell rain.
You do smell.
I smell
Yeah.
ozone. You look like you're feeling much better.
Without any sort of injury, the 3 of you end up on this city street, and you see buildings to your right. There's buildings behind you. There's a sort of plaza that leads down, and you see in the north of where you guys are standing, you see a lot of damaged building. You see almost like regrowth, reclaimed territory.
What was that?
It's called allergies.
Mm-hmm.
We are now quarantining.
I can't be a Sith.
I can't do anything because I live with her, so I'm screwed either way.
Chronochenko's next to your ear.
That won't save you.
Actually, all my coworkers are kind of hoping that one of us gets it because then we all have to go home.
So
jeez.
most of my coworkers are hoping the same thing too.
So,
Somebody cough on me.
Andras, Kaelin, Xanthip,
Yep.
you hit the ground, but you don't hurt. You don't feel momentum or anything. You're just there.
That was weird.
It is. It's very weird. And sort of come to in reality. That muted sound starts to fade away, and strangely enough, as you look out, getting real close to you, you can see sort of a large city street, and you can see a bunch of humanoids running this way. You can see a large machine. It's got 4 wheels, and it's got a large sort of catapult on the back of it. And it's rolling down the street, and there are all sorts of really mean-looking humanoids down there, like half-orcs, orcs, goblins, stuff that you've recognized before. They look like they are savage. And you, as your sense of sound comes back, you can hear shouting starting to fade in. Like, you know, if you hear shouting far away and then it gets louder, that's you hear shouting, you hear panic, you actually hear a bell ringing. You guys did not come to something peaceful.
No.
This is definitely different
Than the way it was last time?
than
Yes.
the alternate timeline.
The Darian did that one.
Damn it, Harry.
He did it again.
Told you the flash is screwed.
Damn it, Kaylin, what'd you do?
I didn't do a thing. I'm
Actually,
not the magic-y type.
I will have all 6 of you, if you have your dice ready, roll a perception check.
Oh.
I know I said probably no rolling for the first half.
I took out my dice anyways. I haven't used Kaylin's dice since we stopped playing.
Oh
so.
boy.
Wait, you said perception and I rolled percentile. That's interesting.
It was close.
It was 82, if you wanted to know.
Red dice of death, go.
I rolled it.
My bad.
26.
Oh,
Raise your hand if you rolled over 20. Really? Just
I
2
got
of you?
19.
3 of you?
I have a
Okay.
perception.
I got a 19.
So do I.
19?
Yeah, I got a 19, Joey.
I did not.
18?
Okay.
I'm 1 point ahead of you. I'm 1 point closer.
Okay, just a quick little distraction. Hitika?
Yes.
Hitika. You're sitting in your Vernati, your community.
Okay.
And when you look up, you happen to catch the sky, and you know you are in District 3 right now.
3. Okay.
Or, sorry, Precinct 3.
Okay.
You know if you look north, that's Precinct 4. You can see in the clouds above, you see 2 little cloud-to-cloud strikes. Lightning strikes?
Lightning strikes, okay.
Yep. So, you just happen to notice it. Katerina, you roll over 20 also?
22.
Okay. You're actually both really close to each other right now. You're both in the Vernati. You're helping with plants, and she's scouting right now. She's looking around for vegetation or something. And you both happen to look up and see that little cloud-to-cloud strike. And it happens twice. And then who else rolled 20 over 20? Andras? As you
District 3.
hit the ground and you kind of gain your
Did you
senses,
say District 3?
Oh, yes. Precinct 3.
you guys are in Precinct 3. That's where
Thank
the Selesnya conclave is. So, great. Thanks, Krabby.
Did we just get fireball?
No, he's rolling
Yeah,
for me.
Boom Wolf.
Oh, boy.
He only does that because he loves you.
Sure.
Wait, why is it Boom Boom Wolf?
Because Mirren's the god of Boom Boom, I guess.
Toddler Mirren.
Tyler
Boom
Mirren.
Boom.
We made
Oh.
Made boom boom.
Okay.
No.
Andras.
What?
What is going on over here?
Come on now.
Andrest is throwing stuff.
Okay.
Day. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Andras, you come to, you get your senses about you, and when you look up, you also see in that cloud cover, very, very much above you, you see 2 lightning strikes, but they're from cloud to cloud. You know how they jump cloud to cloud?
Yep.
Okay. You just happen to see it. So the 3 of you.
Does it strike me as odd?
It does strike you as odd, but it's a storm. You've seen lightning, cloud to cloud lightning before. It does strike you a little bit odd. As the 3 of you come to, you can see from your left, you're sort of on this balcony of sorts, and the city street is about 10 feet below you. You see a bunch of armored humanoids running the other way. So they are running north, and that army, that savage army, is coming south. You see them in red and white gear, and some of them look very heavily armored. And they're shouting commands too. So it's like a war at this point. It's just shouting.
Make way for Prince Ali.
The three of you who are there, so Andras, Kalen, and Xanthip, you see just moments after 9 appears about 15 feet away from you guys. Just a little bit more north on that sort of overcrop that you're on. She's there. She's fine. I mean, she's not hurt. She's kind of coming to now, and you guys are already came to. You guys don't see Allure anywhere though. You see the fight starting. The red and white armored individuals have met with the savage looking ones, and they are fighting. They're trading axes and swords and shields. Does anyone want to do anything this second?
I want to look at Andras and be like, what side do we want to win? I'm so
What side do we
confused.
side on?
What side do we side with?
Hi, Twisted.
Hey,
Hey,
Twisted.
No, Twiz.
I had taco salad. Does that count?
Ooh.
I had taco salad.
Um,
He said tacos.
Andrast or Xanthip, anything from you guys for this second as you come to?
I am going to scoot back
Yup.
Yeah.
And kinda just
Let nature take its course?
and kind of let the shadows become my blanket.
Okay. Alright.
All of us are just like collectively moving away from the.
Well, the Xanthip's mind frame. All right, who's going to be the winner? I'm going to talk to you first.
Right. Andras isn't too far behind that thought, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said, which
Trying to
side do
stay-
we want to win?
Just trying to stay out of the way at this point.
What are your guys' passive perceptions, the three of you?
Passive?
14.
12.
Andrast?
Oh, passive perception. Sorry,
Yeah.
16.
Okay. Andrast, you can catch
I
it.
did fail my passive.
Yeah. Andrast, you catch out of the corner of your eye, you can see in the shifting madness several of the armored soldiers that are running north have symbols on their armor or their filigree or their capes that look like a fist with a circle around it.
Do I recognize that symbol?
You do not. It is totally foreign to you. As the fight breaks out, actually, Zeke, give me perception.
20.
Okay. Zeke, you are visiting your first contact. You are visiting Stardalk.
My goblin friend.
Yes, and you know where he lives. He's in Precinct 4. He's near the rubble belt.
Okay.
You actually, when you step in his domicile, you look out the window, you can see this going on. You don't see these three, but you see what you recognize as the Boros Legion meeting the Gruul.
Ah.
So, you've seen Gruul attacks before. This one's massive. This one, unusually massive. And one thing for damn sure, they don't have siege engines.
Boros doesn't, or the Gruul?
The Gruul don't. They tend to be naturalistic.
Okay. I'm gonna pop my head out and go. Opportunity.
What are you talking about?
Well, Boros is gonna need some help after that, right?
Well, when did you become a Boros Legion?
I didn't, but money.
You think they're gonna pay you?
Money worth it?
If you want to go get yourself killed by the savages, go ahead.
Psh, easy.
Come back alive. We still have to finish this game.
D4 to 6, 12, E1.
Get lost.
You sunk my battleship.
Exactly.
Okay. So Stardock dismisses you and you head down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gonna cast my Eldritch Cannon on me.
Okay, great.
Small or tiny.
Sure. Okay.
But I have to hold it because if I don't hold it, then it's gonna go.
Yay! Loxy resubscribed.
Yay!
Oh, that reminds me. I need to do that myself. As soon as I finish copying my 8,000 things, because Artificer has 8,000 things.
Yeah, it's a 10-page
Joe,
class.
Yes.
on break, can I get a new character sheet? Because mine's like paper.
Can we both?
Paper?
It's paper.
We don't have the cards stuck for these ones.
Can you print me 5 more sheets?
I know, right?
And I need a spell sheet.
We love you, Joe.
You can actually use mine.
Oh, okay.
Are you not going to need one?
Too late.
It's Tim's now.
Goodness.
Okay.
Mine's paper.
The 3 of you,
So can you reprint that in
Mine's
paper?
right here.
Andras, Kalen, Xanthic,
Yes.
I need better scribbly stuff.
this siege engine that the Groll, that you don't know the Groll, but the savage-looking ones have,
Didn't you just say they don't have siege weapons?
Take care,
I-
Wolfie. Feel bad.
that's
They
exactly.
normally don't.
They don't, but you see one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's why it's. Pay attention. So
He's waiting.
you see it's got a flaming boulder in it, and it kicks back and throws, and it soars across the sky, and as you guys follow with your eyes, it lands into one of the tallest spires right above you guys, and you instantly, you can, as the 3 of you look up, you can see a bunch of debris start falling down. Anyone want to react this second? You see a bunch of debris coming down. It's a very tall spire, so you've got about 6 seconds before it hits you.
I'm guessing
Oh.
this is the wrong place to be.
Yeah.
Wait.
Just gonna move away.
I just get
from-
here and the world's falling apart.
Crap. No, I don't have that spell.
This is gonna be great. Everything's gonna be.
The City of Opportunity brings back. The City Opportunity is on you.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
gonna move out of the way.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're kind of against a few buildings, but there's a small little crack in between that you guys can slip into. But as you guys are trying to defend yourselves, you see a few of these well-armored men in armor that has that fist and circle. They have large shields in their arms. They come over to the 3 of you, and they lift their shields up and they brace for the debris. And they are trying to cover you guys. You hear a really loud crash into these shields, and they sort of push you out of the way as they come down with the debris, and the 3 of you realize those 2 shielders are just dead.
Oh.
The weight of that debris has already crushed them.
Wow.
With a 16 passive perception, as you look up, you can also see that the spire's still there. It's got damage, but you can see it's shifting ever so slowly, like the top third of the spire.
That's gonna come crashing down.
Oh, yay.
Very
Great.
soon,
We just got here and we're already getting killed.
very soon after you see that, the 3 of you, as you're looking around in this chaos, on part of the city street to your left, you can see this. It's strange. You've never seen anything like this before. You see a blue cross stitch just appear in the middle of nothing. Just a cross stitch.
Real quick question.
Yep.
On the 2 that got crushed by the building, are there any
Just
emblems?
debris.
Are there any emblems or insignias like little brooches or whatnot on them?
Yeah, you see that
Okay,
fist
I'm
and
gonna
circle.
Swipe one.
Okay. Okay.
Wow, Robin the Dead on session 0.
That's kind of him though.
Yeah.
You see this blue cross stitch appear from nothing, and as it solidifies, you can see a humanoid male, step out of this stitch in space.
A stitch in time.
A stitch in time, and he is wearing a blue hood, blue robes, and it's white filigree all over, and he just appears.
I wonder who that could be.
Bob Dole.
You can see that his attention instantly spans to
See you, Leech.
see you, Dr. Leech.
See you, Leech.
Bye.
Bye.
you can see as his attention instantly hits that spire with all that crap raining down, and you see him raise his hands instantly without acknowledging you or the two different armies. You see him raise his hands, and you hear him sort of release a groan as he's glowing. And his eyes glow white blue, like hot fire. And so his hands begin to glow too. And you can see now that spire top that was coming down is frozen. This sort of blue energy is keeping it in place. And you can see it's straining him. He's, trying very hard to keep this going.
You must be a riot at parties.
He doesn't respond to you.
Wait, so he's like, we can see that he is like having a difficult time.
Yes, he's struggling to keep this tower piece there.
Are we supposed to go somewhere, or are you just going to stand there like a statue all day?
He doesn't respond to you. He's in focus.
Okay, well, I'm just going to find a safer place to be than under a building that's falling.
I can move with you because I can't do any of the woo stuff, so.
9 is looking around. She's just caught in by everything.
What's going on?
So do we have to go by him in order to like get away?
There are no horses.
So it's sort of like, so if you imagine the city
Grab you
street,
by the shirt and drag you with.
if you imagine the city street where you're at right now,
Okay, that's
it goes down, so it's like 15 feet wide, and then there's steps.
Happy birthday.
Steps, it goes down a level, steps goes down a level, and then it bears north, and it just keeps going, and that's where the battle's happening. So on the right and left side is like a sidewalk, and this person is on the left side of the street, and the three of you are on the right side of the street.
Animated armor.
Yep. So,
As we go, I want to run out, tap him for. We're gonna do resistance.
Okay.
And then run back.
Great. And you run in between
High five.
these
Run away.
these armored legionnaires running down the street. You run in between them. You weave through. You tap them on the shoulder and you run back.
Yes.
It's like playing Frogger.
Yes.
What's that?
Her next roll was a 19.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Nice.
Thanks, babe.
6 better than mine.
Okay. So you do this, and you can see that some of the strain's actually released from him. He's still trying very difficult, but he's ignoring you. You feel a sense of appreciation, like he didn't say anything to you, but he didn't, get away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ew, cuties.
And just shortly after all this happens, to his left, you see a whirlwind that's also blue, and you see besides him, the other side of him, there is this explosion of a muted explosion of fire just from nothing. Just
Oh.
2 more people appear.
At this point in time, back a little bit further in the shadows.
Oh my gosh. This entire place is just. We've walked into chaos.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We just. Well, see, my problem here is we just destroyed a world, and now we're going into a world that's being destroyed. So I don't want to be tied to this.
Gosh. We didn't do it.
It's not our fault.
Not our fault. Didn't touch it.
I just got here. I haven't had time to hit the red button.
Yay, thank you for subscribing, Aurora.
Woo.
Okay.
Woo. Wait, so we don't see a lure anywhere?
You don't. Even after all this, you haven't seen Allura yet.
Explain the lure.
I like that idea.
So Zeke,
Let's go back.
as you come down the
Until we
street,
find
you
her
can see a
and make
clear
sure she's okay.
what's going on.
I think it's still burning.
You see the Boros. There's a front line. The Boros fighters and the Gruul fighters are fighting. There are deaths on both sides. Bodies are starting to fall, and you can see that siege engine's preparing for another strike.
Can we see that?
Yes, yes you can.
We just have no idea what the heck.
And it's on fire?
The projectile's not on fire yet.
Oh.
No.
I would not get in the middle of this. I
That's
can
fine.
see it on your face.
I know, but
I can see it in your eyes.
Zeke, you actually give me perception.
You like this a lot, don't you? 14.
You have no idea who they are, but you can see a few new faces. I mean, you don't know if they're part of a guild or whatever. There's hundreds of thousands or millions of people here. You don't know who they are, but you see additional people on the sidewalk kind of looking around. And you see two dead Boros soldiers there with debris on them.
I'm going to put 2 and 2 together and found out that gravity wins.
Yes.
Do they
Gravity is still the same.
look like they may be in peril anytime soon?
No, because when you look up, you can see.
Would he recognize the blue-robed figure
No.
standing there?
You don't.
I don't.
Wait, sorry, you do.
He's
do.
a freaking guild pact. I know
Yes,
who he is.
yes, you do. I had to think about that for a second. You would, but you know him, but you don't ever see him.
Correct.
You are aware of his presence.
Yes.
You are, if you put 2 and 2 together, you are fairly certain that one of those 3 people that just appeared out of thin air is Jay Spellrand.
Gotcha. And do I see the siege engine?
Yes.
Okay.
It is 100 feet away.
I am going to. Is there, other than these 3, is there any other people other than these?
You're right.
You'll have to wait because we just got maybe fireball. And that would be a good time for it too.
Oh.
But you guys don't know where Laura is, so could hit just a random part of the city.
I want it to
Assuming
fall right
she's
on that
the-
siege engine.
Assuming she's here.
1.
One.
Womp womp.
No fireball.
Sorry, Twisted. 1.
I'm going to approach these people if they are the only group of people in the area.
Besides the Boros fighters and the girl fighters, yes.
Yes.
You see on the right, you see these 3, or 4, because 9's also there, and on the left you see the 3, what you could surmise as planeswalkers.
I could care less about the other one.
I'm going to make sure that Nina's behind me the
Okay.
entire time.
She's aloof. She's taken in
Which
by
is why
everything.
she's behind me.
Okay.
So, I think you guys would recognize what a Warforged looks like.
No.
No?
No.
No.
None of you know what a Warforged looks like.
No.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Well, actually, we're all from the Sword Coast.
Okay.
That's. Yeah, none of us have had
No,
the chance
they're
to.
not from Eberron.
We have never had the chance to see Eberron. So
Gotcha.
we don't know.
You guys
The
aren't from
closest
Eberron.
we could gather.
Which is
I look like a robot.
Never mind.
The
I will
planes-
touch that when
yeah.
I actually have to RP it.
So I'm going to approach these people.
As he approaches, the 3 of you can see
A golem.
a golem made
It's
of,
an iron golem.
and it's not
Well.
bulky. It's well built.
I'm going
Can I
to
have your-
reach for a sword that is no longer on my
what?
hip.
The paper towel for you to using.
I will actually show you what he looks like because I just got done making a Hero Forge character.
It is a foreign sight to you guys. Amongst
We
all
don't
the other
have
foreign
any
sights,
gear that we
you've never
got
seen anything like this
in-
either.
However, you notice there is a weapon on Xanthip's side.
You're
Oh, yeah.
good, but you had
No.
no.
There is a weapon on Xanthip's side.
Which weapon?
The Marinthian Starblade.
What?
Do I
You
still
have a Marinthian? Did you have one?
I thought
I
I
have
did.
a Starblade at first aid.
You also have that. You have that and only that.
That and only that.
Any
No.
armor or weapons you had are gone. Besides the Marinthian weapon.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I think I was the only one that didn't have a
Do
Marinthian
I have to
weapon.
erase everything off my sheet?
If it's basic equipment, just put an X by it for now or something so you
Okay.
know you
So,
don't
like,
have
I
it.
don't really want
No.
it.
So obviously the anti-lock card.
Yes, the anti-law cards are. Yeah. We'll go over that in a little bit.
That is who you see.
And
I
again,
can't-
the first thing out of my mouth is, oh great, a golem.
I can't see it.
You draw your sword on it?
I am going to draw my sword on you.
Okay.
Neat.
And it's not so
Cool.
much pointing the blade at it as it is just I'm worried of my you see I take a defensive stance.
Yeah, because I have a little itty bitty cannon on my shoulder that's mounted to a shoulder pad. And I look up to you guys and I go, neat sword. Can I check it out later? You should probably move. And as I do that, I'm going to cast my Eldritch Cannon special ability to give you all. Whoop, wrong dice.
Joe.
Everyone gets 8 temporary HP as a shield envelops you all.
So do we move or do we stay in the shield? You're making this kind of confusing, sir.
There's fighting there, and you should probably move away.
I have been, and then you walked up to us.
Well, I'm
Okay.
giving you. I help.
So hang on. This
Why?
Xanthip, don't be difficult.
these
Why
two
are
things.
you helping?
Do you want to die? Do flashbacks like to die?
Okay, hold. These two things are happening at the same time. So you guys are having this discussion.
Andrest has a slight problem with being called a flesh bag.
We'll resolve that.
Like, more than a slight problem.
On the left is when those two other people appear. And the one that you guys saw first in the blue robe, you can hear him actually speak for the first time, and struggling, he yells out, he's got his hands up, and he says, "Would you help me out, Teferi?" And to his left, what comes out of that blue whirlwind, a man with white robes, no hair, dark skin, tall in stature, has a stoic look on his face. And he's like, "On it, Jace." And he points his arms together like this, rips them apart, and then puts his hands up like Jace is. He said Jace. And you see, if you guys are done, are you still having your conversation? You guys going to look at this?
Oh, I'm keeping an eye on everything.
Okay.
I'm very much a looky-loo at this point.
You heard this conversation. You heard a little help. Yeah, you heard them yelling at each other. The one that comes out of that plume of fire ignores both of them, and she starts. You can see she's got beautiful red hair, red goggles, and she's female. She is wearing a mixture of metal armor plates and leather armor. She's got metal on her arm, she's got metal gauntlet, but the rest of it is leather. And the gauntlet has a tube on it, and she has a tube that goes over her shoulder. You can see her red hair.
Camelback?
Krabby, a plume of fire teleportation? ... I'm interested.
And Kirby's up.
You guys see her red hair, which is normal hair. When she gets this fire in her hands, her hair turns to fire.
Ooh.
And she instantly just starts launching motes of fire at the ones that are further beyond the armored soldiers, the savage ones.
What?
It's
Krabby's
It's Krabby.
Yeah.
It's Krabby as a planeswalker.
I was just saying.
She sounds hot. Did it. So, okay. You see these three people, and so while you guys are in this conversation looking up, you can see this white energy take over the spire, and it's moving. It starts slow, but it's moving back into place, and there's this distortion coming from it as that sort of area seems to be going back in time. You can see it's moving up and it's connecting, and some not all of it. Some of the debris from the bottom actually lifts back up, and it slowly goes back into spots.
It's like deja vu all over again.
I'm gonna softly mumble, be like, "That's still not the weirdest thing I've seen."
We're
Interestingly enough, so he starts doing this, and Jace kind of relaxes for a second because he doesn't have to hold this fire there anymore. He catches his breath as this what you guys heard him call Teferi. You see Teferi doing this reversal of time, and
I want to do that. So do I.
Jace just relaxes for a second, catches his breath, stretches his arms out, and you can tell he's prepping to do something because he's probably gonna take over again in a second.
Well, it looks like these three have it. I think moving isn't the worst idea. And I'm gonna grab 9 and just start walking away.
Okay.
As you do that, I'm gonna please stay within a 10-foot radius of me.
So
How about you keep
nine's
your
not in the shield.
robot butt with us.
She's behind you, but she's not in the shield. The shield only goes so far.
I'm grabbing her and dragging her, so she shouldn't be more than about
Xantha just picks her up.
20,
Now she's in the
32
shield.
inches away
That's
from me.
literally what he's done before.
Okay.
She's got no choice but to come with me. I'm dragging her.
So, okay. Behind you guys is a row of buildings, and you can tell some of them are damaged. Like what he's doing is not undoing that damage. It's just doing the damage from the spires. So,
Xander's protecting you.
Yeah, I know. The fuck?
some of the buildings next to you, you can tell they're starting to lose integrity, even though he's fixing this fire. When that spire starts to become fixed, it's really cool too. You see that molten fire, boulder, start to reform back out into the side of the tower, and it's there. So as soon as that regains its shape, Jace once again takes control of it. He takes control of the boulder, and you see him fling his arms left. The boulder that was reformed flies all the way back into the siege engine. The siege engine, and it falls to pieces.
Kayla's looking at Jace going,
Thorsty.
You said
yeah,
that.
Thorsty girl, but
Thank you.
Hi, Jaden.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hello, sir.
hey.
You can see now, as this fight is evolving, there's another sort of...
Technically, it's devolving. Because it
Hey,
went
hey,
backwards.
hey, DM,
Yeah.
what is the ground like in the city?
From what you can tell where you're at, mostly cobblestone.
And how
There's-
close are the buildings together?
Very close.
Okay.
So, do you have shaped stone?
No,
No? Okay.
Krabby wanted to know, so I figured I'd ask.
Oh, okay. So, another force...
Yes, earthquake.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was like, Trevor would be interesting here.
Way less numerous amounts of soldiers this time. They look even more prepared and more armored. You see about 10 to 15 of them show up on this street. Now that, okay, if the fight's happening over here down the street and you guys are here, the Boros Legion were going this way to the fight. Another
The
set
ones
of...
that I stole the pendant from.
Yes, with the fist in the circle.
There.
This time you see really shiny armored individuals that have blue robes and metal plates on their shoulders. You can see anybody who's going to look, give me perception, including Zeke if you want.
Yeah.
But actually Zeke, you know who they are.
Yes.
So the three of you.
19.
Ooh, you are not perceptive. You are still drooling
Did
over
you
this
use
weird...
your
Yeah.
Did you use
There's
your 19?
Jace.
No, I didn't.
Ooh,
So how about
jeez.
you use your 19?
What's his name again? Face? Yeah, Face.
What'd you guys get?
14.
24.
19.
You got 24?
She's
Yeah,
the
because I
19.
get the 19
Oh.
from Tay.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I thought we... Okay. So,
Oh,
That is
so
better
we're...
than one.
nobody else spot... That was just Twisted rolling.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
Twisted see his feet.
The two of you, Andrast and Kaylin, you see this time as sigils on their
Roll
backs
there, but I
and
can't roll
shields,
here.
you see 3 white triangles. Kind of the best way to put it for this moment is Triforce like. You see 3 triangles in the shape of a triangle and a circle in the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
You see
A
these...
triangle within a triangle.
Yes, a triangle made of triangles. Kind of like that, except
It's not quite the
Were you
Triforce.
talking about the Nordic knot?
no. It's like that, except instead of the triangles being the inner side of the triangle are circular. There's a circular cutout.
I got it.
Patrick.
Yeah, actually, pretty much like that. That. Yep, that's correct.
Twisting an eyeball.
Oh, not there.
Twisted, be careful what you wish for.
So you see the several of them who are armored start approaching, and they don't run into the battle. They stay kind of near where you guys are. And you see a woman leading them. She's actually not armored at all. She just wears a blue cap and she has basic armor on. She shouts out towards who you guys now know as Jace. And she goes, you know, Jace, if you would just stay here in Ravnica instead of leaving all the damn time, stuff like this wouldn't happen. And you could see he totally ignores her.
Alright, so the brother and the sister are squabbling. Can we get out of here?
So the front of them.
I'm humming as I'm walking.
So much for the opportunity. So the front,
this is the
the front 4 of them raise just 2 fingers from their right hand, and you can see in front of their fingers have that same triangle shape.
Right? Kagebushin no jutsu. Take care, Fuzzomatic.
Bye.
So now that these new soldiers showed up, you can see in the panic of battle, the savage-looking ones actually start advancing the other way. They're starting to push back. Strategic retreating, yep.
After hearing the word Ravnica, does that ring any sorts of bells with me, given my studies?
0 bells.
You hear no bells.
Wow.
If you want me to explain it, it's a recent adjoining to the
No,
multiverse.
that's okay. I'm just saying, like, for Andras, that's...
Yeah. It
I
is
mean,
totally
100 years of studying in the libraries of Waterdeep, that's...
Yep. No one has... You've never come across this at all.
We do realize that because I know you've studied for that long. As soon as I hear Ravnica, I'm like, Ravnica. And then look right at you.
She gets a wrinkle in her
That
forehead.
doesn't make me feel better, Andreas. You don't know what that is.
Never heard of it.
You just hear me going.
Xanthid, where'd you go, buddy?
I'm just
Pooping.
Pooping?
humming.
Is you pooping? This next part's sort of critical.
I'm here. I just had to go see what's up with the wife.
Okay.
You can kill him.
Okay, here it comes.
Oh
Sweet.
my.
The 4 of you make a dex save.
Of course.
Oh, yay.
Now this shield of yours, it's not a shield, it gives them temporary hit points though, right?
It gives them temporary HP.
But you don't protect from projectiles or anything like that.
No, but I actually have a spell for that if I need to.
Okay,
Great.
kill him. I won't do that.
Okay.
I'm so scared to drink my coffee.
Andres.
Because it keeps popping at me. 7.
7. Okay. That's not very good. And Kaylin?
20 better than that.
27?
Yeah, I rolled
Holy.
a nat.
Jeez Louise.
Natural 27.
Yeah,
A
natural 27. Yep.
Xanthid?
12.
And Zeke.
Is it a projectile?
It is a whole hell of a lot of projectile.
Like spells or actually projectile?
Projectile.
Arrows?
Nope. Building.
Building.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a bath.
I'm good.
May I use my
Maybe hang out for like 5 more minutes?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
hang out.
I said,
Um,
if you're taking a bath, it's not like we couldn't go.
May I use my
Could join me.
repulsion shield since it's definitely going to hit me?
What's your dex save?
7.
Okay.
I know.
What does repulsion shield do as a reaction?
If I am
You had
hit,
to say something.
I can push a medium-sized target or more 15 feet away.
We're calling what's going to hit you more than medium.
Okay.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Way more.
you can see
Is there a window?
and a wall.
I'm gonna step so the window just drops out.
So Jace sort of wipes his brow, and you can see what you guys now know as the Boros sort of handling it. And he actually looks at you guys, and you can see a curious look in his eye. Now that he's got time to focus, he's kind of staring at you guys weirdly.
Don't you
And
have better things to do?
well, he said, "Show up in the nick of time, huh?" And he goes, "Weird. I can see." And then when he says, "I can see," Andreas and Xanthid, the both of you immediately have this illness. You feel sick.
Okay.
Really?
And just as that sickness overcomes you, building. If you guys just barely look up to the right, you can see one of the buildings is totally collapsing, and all of it's coming down over you guys right now.
I am going to, as that happens, my dex is actually going to be kind of used in a different way. I'm not going to save myself. I'm going to put 9 in front and just curl.
Okay, I have to think about this. Okay. Don't get mad at me.
I'm not.
You won't be able to.
Okay.
You try.
Yep.
That sickness is kind of slowing you down.
Yep.
And what you see is, actually, you guys see nothing right now. You see a bunch of debris on top of you. His shield helped you out. What was your dex saves? I have your dex saves. Sorry.
12.
7, 27, 12, and 7.
Yes.
Kaylin, you're going to take no damage from this. You managed to find just a slight bit of relief as pieces come down. Andras, Xanthip, and Zeke, you all take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouchie.
-8.
Minus the whatever you have for temporary.
Yes.
And you can hear shouting now, and people are starting to remove bricks and debris. As it becomes somewhat clearer, the three of you look over and you can see, you're dusting yourselves off, checking everything, and over in the side, you can see 9. Anybody gonna go over and look?
Yeah, I'm gonna run over
Okay.
there.
As you get closer, you can see that she has this giant shard of metal sticking
You
out from her
weren't
chest.
supposed to die. She wasn't supposed to die.
Do I
Let me
look dead?
let me DM.
Let him finish. He's just getting warmed up.
Let me
him finish.
DM, please. You see a giant supporting beam just out of her chest. She's still breathing, but she's knocked out, and you can hear
Please don't.
as all this happens, Xanthip, you heard her yell, Xanthip, and you hear a yelp. You're gone. You go to look at Xanthip. You go to look at yourself. You go to look at 9, and your world, kind of like you just got here, you're gone again.
Okay.
I don't think it's you they're mad at right now, Patrick.
That's fine. Andrast, can you make a con save?
Ha! 4.
Okay. Give me a little bit of, if you can, give me a little bit of in-character reaction as this happens. You see 9 with this shard out of her chest, and you see Xanthip fade out. He like, boink, he's out.
It's like, honestly, probably instant, like, rage.
Good.
I
Okay.
just cleric rage.
You can hear Jace yell out, "Hey!" as he's reaching for Xanthip. He comes over and he's starting to reach for Xanthip as he disappears. And then you realize he goes to reach for Xanthip, who's no longer there. He turns to look at you, and you're gone too. Kaylin.
Great!
You're going to the shadow
All my
world.
friends are dead. All my friends are dead.
Everybody roll new characters.
I hate this.
Kaylin, you see 9 with a shard in her chest. Xanthip was gone. Jace tried to reach out for him. He looks over at Andrast. And
Gosh, Dave.
right before Andrast goes away, he's like, okay. And he's trying to calm everybody down. Andrast hasn't gone yet. I'm sorry, I'm skipping around here.
No, that's okay.
He turns to Andrast and he says, okay, one of you are probably about to go through an intense, and she's gone.
I'm screaming like bloody murder at this point, and not in like fear. I'm pissed off and confused and
he looks
super
around.
sad because I'm seeing 9 like this. I'm freaking out.
Yeah, you're in a foreign city. 9 might be dead, and you see
Those two, the only other 2 people I know,
are
just
just.
blip. Yeah, I'm freaking out.
You see Jace got this worried look on his face, and he goes, "At least there were only 2." And he looks at you.
No, that's her reaction too.
Okay.
She's looking at him going, "What is going on?"
Tim and Nina, I'm so sorry. It's gonna be a little bit longer before we get to you.
No,
guys.
we're fine.
Okay.
We're enjoying the
It's-
story.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
taking this all
Yeah,
in.
it's the story build up. It's
Yeah,
it's
I'm
what
not-
happens. They're like right on the edge of their seats going, "What's
Yeah,
gonna
do you
happen?"
see me? Am I like,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
know,
like
I'm
napping
taking
or anything.
notes
I'm
and
like,
I'm like,
yeah, me too.
It's a Patrick. Right now, it's a real butt clencher, so we're good.
Okay.
how would you
If
know?
you were being boring, maybe then we'd have issues, but you're not.
It's been
I'm
a while.
enjoying the story
I just want to make
too.
sure.
That's punched?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've been writing this for like 2 weeks, so.
Literally every single day, I'm sitting there like, hey, you want to do something?
Swallow.
Are you hungry?
I have 9 pages here. So.
You want a spicy chicken sandwich? Yes.
Yes.
So that's where the chicken sandwich came from on my paper.
Okay. When you guys saw Xantha disappear, you can see a smoky black and green, and that black and green fades. And so Xantha, you ever been so drunk that when you move your head, your eyes catch up later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you can
Like you had to ask that question.
you know how you can look, and then you're like, you know what I mean?
The world is
Yeah.
behind my movement.
One word.
The world's lagging. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's
You hear in the back of your mind, you hear that hey from Jace,
Mm.
and that's all you hear. You hear it kind of slow down. It's like hey, you know what I mean? Okay. Like that slow poison in Bleach. Yeah.
Mhm.
You black out, and what feels like who knows how long, you wake up, and you're on your back.
I'm prone on my back.
You're prone on your back.
But you're not alive.
You have a massive headache. Your head is pounding. You have 1 level of exhaustion.
Alright.
And you are drained. You are...
Mosquitoes in the world at the same time.
You realize as you look around, you're floating. All around you, there's this black... So, the couple of times you've been in this weird sort of alternate space, it's been white, you're in a black space. You see green puffs of air, smoke, something. You just see some green puffs here, there, here, there. They come, they go. You get this lurching feeling in your stomach that you're being pulled down.
He chose down.
When you look down, do you look down?
Can I actually rotate my
Yes,
body?
you can sort of. You have no orientation of where you are, but you can.
But
Yes,
that's the thing. Can I maneuver
Yes.
myself?
Yeah.
Okay, I will look in the direction I'm heading.
in the very far distance below you, you can see a landscape. It's bleak. It's dark. It's mountainous. It's rigid. It's mountainous. It's bleak and it's dark. And you start. Now that you've seen it, you are actually traveling at breakneck speed. It is coming quick.
Do I feel?
No.
Oh, that is
It's
very
strange.
disorienting.
Yes.
I feel weird.
And so I imagine you might brace for impact. You kind of tense up at all?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm going to, because of the fact that all of these strange bouncing between worlds things has happened and I've never been hurt, I'm going to be like,
I'll be fine.
what now?
You got used to it real damn quick.
Less used to it than resigned to it.
Resigned to it.
What now?
Plus advertising, they offer you a city and you end up in.
Within seconds, you reach this landscape, and you do start to
Oh yeah, I would
naturally brace a
definitely-
little bit.
Yeah, natural human response.
And as soon as what
Or
you
half-orc response.
as soon as what you feel like should be this,
Mm-hmm.
you go straight through the ground,
Oh,
It's
this
almost
is even
worse.
worse.
Oh.
and you keep traveling through the ground.
Get violated.
And we all-
Like what?
Where's my impact? Where's my impact? Where's me already?
So is he seeing like stone and dirt and whatnot? Like
Magma?
No, it's you pass through the ground, you don't see anything else, but then you come out the bottom and you can see like a floating island in Minecraft or something. You can see ground above you.
That's dope, actually.
And you all of a sudden that downward feeling
I
turns
didn't even leave a body-shaped hole.
no.
I don't know Minecraft.
That downward feeling turns to a front feeling.
No.
Yeah.
Now you lurch to a stop and now you're being pulled this way.
Willy Wonka's got nothing on this.
Not a sponsor.
Everything beyond the darkness, you can see a veil of green. It's green this time. Everything is green. And you reach this green sort of wall and pass right through it. And now you've got trees. You've got nature. You've got plants. It's overgrowing grass everywhere. You hit the ground. It doesn't hurt. You actually hit the ground this time. The sky is emerald green. It's, you know, you can see varying types of shades of green, but it feels like dirt.
I'm confused. Thank you, Bob Dole.
Dole.
It is natural. It is over natural. You look around and all you can see is a canopy of trees. You look up and there is the tree canopy that goes up is taller than that spire you saw in Ravnica. Is huge.
Dang.
What do I smell? What do I smell?
That loamy sort of, is it going to rain or is it not going to rain?
Okay.
Ozone. You realize you're sweaty.
That's
It's
funny.
humid. It is humid.
Oh, yeah.
It is humid, moist, and jungle-like. And as you look around, you can see all sorts of colors of flowers.
Okay.
You see flowers you've seen before. You see flowers that don't make sense. They have the colors of all colors of the rainbow and some colors you can't describe. It's colors you've never seen before.
Great, I'm seeing in UV now.
Yep.
I was about to say mantis shrimp.
Sprinkled amongst the foliage everywhere. As you look out, you can see what looks like the sun is always setting. It's in that setting position, but the longer you stare at it, you realize it is not going up or down. It's always constant sunset. The sky,
Special glasses.
beyond the green sky, is an amber tint. And your sense of sound is muted again, like you were underwater. That slowly starts to go away again. And here you are. You hear the noise of cicadas. You hear birds chirping.
Cicadas.
Cicadas. Cicadas.
There you go.
Cicadas.
Sorry.
Barbacoa.
You hear
Insects.
distorted birds, like
Sound-based.
the sound of birds chirping, but it's distorted. There's the evidence of living beings, but you don't see anything. You see the flowers and plants, but you don't see other
I
beings.
have no idea the words that are coming out of your mouth.
That's where you are.
I will take a quick check and make sure all of the important bits are still attached.
Yes. You.
All of the important
No,
bits are attached.
Gold pouch, arms, sexy face. Yes, we're good.
That's all that you need.
You have all of your equipment and everything. You have your loot and your Meridian blade. Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything right now, or do you want to come back to you?
I'm like it right now. I'm just taking stock. So go ahead.
Okay. Andrast,
Yeah.
on to you.
Yeah.
You realize Jace is saying, one of you are about to probably go through this intense, and you're gone. You drop to your knee, and then you evaporate in this mist of white and blue, silver outlined clouds.
You got black and green.
You
I
get
got
black and green.
That's all right.
You
Yeah,
can
that makes
see
sense. I mean, my hair's silver and my skin's kind of bluish, so that makes sense.
you can see Jace reaching for you, and then that
Thought about this.
it looks like a slow motion until it gets slower and slower, and then it fades to black.
What? You wake up and you have Knights of the Round Spirit Gardens beating on you. From all the times you casted it.
That would be fun.
That
You
would
are
be
in
awful.
this darkness. You see small wisps of green, but you also see purple and white. You feel like you're standing on firm ground, but it's darkness all around you. And you see these erratic wisps of black energy. I know it's dark, but there's a contrast. It's like those
The shadows on the shadows.
Shadows
yes,
in the dark.
or like that black paint that absorbs light. You can see it's dark. You see these black sort of energy wisps.
And even with dark vision, I don't.
No, nothing's different. It does help you differentiate between the wisps of energy and the darkness.
The black and the black.
The black and black and black. Hey, my
Which is
wardrobe.
probably black.
As you look down, you can see the crest of a distant landscape. It is the mountainous, the crag, the dark, and it looks like a valley of perpetual sundown, moonlight. You know, it's all dark there.
Is it probably black?
Probably black. You were approaching it, but you're standing on ground. It feels like you're standing on something, and then it, almost like you're in an elevator, you come to, and you're on the ground. It is an endless as big as the city you were just in. It is an endless graveyard, and you instantly feel drained. You also have a point of exhaustion.
Okay. I'm a little disturbed to be in a graveyard, but okay.
You feel as if your ankles are shackled by solid steel core weighted spheres. You know what I mean? You feel like you cannot move more than, say, 5 feet around. You feel this horrible weight on you. Your speed is currently 5.
I don't like this.
No, you're not. You can see crows in the distance, and you see other black shapes. There's a heavy fog all around you.
Creepy fog.
Creepy fog.
PTSD.
And you can only see gray, dull, and sharp-edged mountain peaks in the far distance. There are dead trees all around you and countless headstones of various shapes and sizes. The air with that fog, you can see those pulses of black energy again. You occasionally get a zip of black lightning, and it can be as close as all the way towards those mountains and 20 feet away from you. Every time one of those energy bursts goes off, the air quality gets staler. You get this nastiness, and you constantly feel like you have vertigo.
Oh God.
Even being on solid ground.
I'm having empathy for you.
Sorry.
You're gonna throw it at the table.
When you look up in the
Hey,
sky,
Thaco, twisted like your butt.
nice butt.
It's my butt.
When you look up in the sky,
Like it, and it's mine.
you can see 3 nightmares flying over.
How lovely.
The sky is black in between the dark gray clouds, but you can see a dull vibrancy like there was a full moon.
That's what
Could I gestulate that I might be like in hell or something, being a cleric?
Considering you know the planes, that's a good point. You get to learn something.
nerd.
I
If I
am a
can
nerd,
get-
that's okay.
This DMG out.
My
I don't
plus
know if
5
Easier
to
if it's easier if you slide the screen out first.
Okay, my body feels like absolute crack. It's time for mind power. I'm in hell.
One of the two. Hey!
Thaco, do you happen to remember where the planes are in the DMG?
Krabby's
Very
being mean
back.
to me again.
Very back.
Very back.
Krabby, give yourself disadvantage for being mean. There, I got your back.
Thank you. I appreciate
Just
that.
remember, I still have the power to mute you, Krabby.
Or is it are planes in the PHB?
It's in the PHB.
That's what I thought.
Point
Very
2
back.
seconds.
What do you look?
Right there.
Oh, the plane.
Let me see.
Mimesis.
There was a better description. No. Oh yeah, okay. Yep. You have a very strong inkling. You are in the Shadowfell.
Oh, lovely. Oh.
It is not hell.
No, it's not.
It is just the plane of shadows and darkness.
Also, the home plane
And
of that creepy fellow.
The home plane, which you happen to recognize,
Oh, that's where.
Scott von Zarovich.
Okay. That means you're in. Are you seeing the Feywild?
We'll get back to that. You recognize that you, based on the description of what you're seeing, you feel like you're in the Shadowfell.
Question then. Do I have any knowledge of Barovia?
No, because of the demi-plane.
Okay,
Thank you.
I was about to say I didn't think I should, but I was curious.
I had to look this up for this reason.
Yeah.
So I didn't spoil myself.
If you didn't
Just say
know, I
the
do. I was
third-
gonna
Sure.
explain.
You see, the third campaign that crosses over with this.
I want to do a little tiny crossover.
Through Andrest, technically, everything is thus far, almost every campaign is, except for Lorimir, has connected back to Waterdeep, which kind of makes me happy.
Yeah, Waterdeep has not touched Lorimir yet.
And Saltmarsh, because I don't know how we could connect Saltmarsh, because that's an
Talk to the DM about that.
And Silcrest.
Saltmarsh is on the Sword Coast.
I thought it was supposed to be in
No, it's on the Sword
Greyhawk.
No, and
Greyhawk's on
Waterdeep
Silcrest
is Waterdeep is just straight northwest of Saltmarsh.
Oh, cool.
You could
It
probably
is
get
a
there.
Silcrest.
You can get there within 3 days.
Sweet.
Okay. You see those 3 nightmares, and they have riders, and they fly over. They're
Riders in the sky.
They're very high in the sky.
Yeah, she sits on the ground.
I attempt to go into Sith mode.
And
Yes, I'm.
Andrest,
Yeah.
as they fly over, you can look around you, and some of the graves are moving. The grave dirt is moving, and you see some corpses come to life.
Now I'm jealous of you for only one reason.
There's something else here. Some of these corpses look familiar.
Oh.
Oh.
You swear some of these corpses look like Felix,
Me.
Xanthip,
It's a
Kaylin,
me, a Xanthip.
Donald, Randall, Risa. People you recognize, you can see them as dead bodies. Their flesh is bare and they moan like zombies.
That's gross.
They're coming after you.
So wait, so are they like the what's it called?
That shapeshifter you fought?
No, I'm thinking more of like the Re-Dead from Zelda.
Sure, but they look like people you know. You recognize their shapes.
Okay. So gross.
They are approaching you.
They're approaching me?
Yeah. You really feel like you can't run because of that weight and that vertigo.
That's okay.
Spirit Guardians.
The frontmost body is 9 with a shard sticking out of her.
Oh boy.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
She reaches out to you and she's, why didn't you save me?
It's a good question.
Good thing she's
That's
in a bath.
horrible.
Yeah!
She's gonna crawl into bed day and just be like,
So, yeah, no, how far away are all these zombies from me?
20 feet approaching her.
20
Yeah,
feet
we're
approaching?
all gonna have mental breakdown at the end of this stream.
That's okay. I'm gonna wait. How many are there?
They're starting to become numerous and uncountable.
Oh, lovely. Well, then I won't wait too long then. I'll wait till there's at least a couple within 10 feet of me.
Now they are.
Okay, turn undead.
Okay. Can you read the effect of that?
As an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer censoring the undead. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take its reactions.
Okay.
For its action, it can only use the dash action. And also, because I'm at 5th level, if they are half CR or lower, they are destroyed.
Because of what
Yes.
you explained.
You do have your symbol, by the way. Just in case you didn't know, you do have it. Yes, you do have it.
Okay, yeah, because you said basically anything that we got from...
Right, but even in this weird Shadowfell, you still have it.
Okay, gotcha.
And you do this turn undead, you feel Selunu's presence. Unlike most of where you were before.
Mm-hmm.
But they're starting to become uncountable. A section of them start to run away from you, but the others coalesce on you. You're getting a bunch of swings.
Cool. I am going to cast Spirit Guardians.
That's fine.
Actually, no, I'm not going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
Because that's a concentration.
What's
No,
your AC?
15. I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
Is that a 1 round or a 1 minute?
1 minute.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
Is that also a con?
I can cast it. Yes. No. Actually, wait, no. Maybe it's not. Hold on.
Holding.
So
Please
there
hold.
are several of them on you, and they're gonna swing.
That's
I mean,
okay.
that's pretty good.
It's
reason.
not a concentration, so I'm doing both.
You're gonna cast Sanctuary while you're getting hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I'm gonna cast
As hands hit you and mouths bite you, you take, you start taking damage rapidly. You take 6 here, 6 there, 12 here.
even with Sanctuary.
You haven't finished casting Sanctuary yet because it's in combat. It takes 1 minute, so it's in 6 round sections now. Do you understand? It takes 1 minute to cast, right?
No.
You said 1 action?
It
Oh,
lasts
sorry. When you asked, it made it sound like you were asking how long it lasted.
Oh, no, I'm
No,
sorry,
it's a
listen.
bonus action.
And what does it do?
Any creature. So you ward a creature within range against attack. I'm choosing myself.
Okay.
Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom save.
Okay. You're still taking damage. It's less than that, but I mean, it's starting to ramp up. There's
This is nice.
many bodies around you. You're fighting off. You're doing a good job.
I am casting Spirit Guardians too.
Great. You realize you are giving your best fight, and you're holding them off, and you slay the zombie that looks like 9. You slay the one that looks like Xanthip. You slay all of them. But more continue to rise and come after you.
Of course.
You begin to feel this hopeless sense. And then from right above you, the gray clouds in the black sky, you see a piercing blue light. It's like a moonbeam.
Yeah.
It pierces the cloudy veil, and it's right on top of you.
Yeah. Is Jace saving me?
Let me continue.
She's hoping, isn't she?
You will You will hear your name. You hear a very matronly Andrast.
You guys can
Oh,
share.
okay.
Yeah, it's Jace, all right.
I don't share.
Andrast.
Yeah, when it comes to that, I don't.
The zombies that are on you start to just burn. They burn and sizzle away. Their shapes are untrue. As they burn away, you can tell that they were shape shifted. They are feeding off your fear. You feel compelled to look up, and you do. This moonbeam is coming through like a rip in space. And beyond the impromptu portal, you can see, as you look into the sky, there is this island in the water. It's nothing but water and a small island with a white, gleaming sort of, like a pearly white type of stone, marble type of castle and walls.
Do you have
All alone on a rocky, jutted island, and the sea of water underneath it is pearlescent, and you can see a moon.
Did they shave?
Great.
That weight around you, you feel it melt away, and you're being lifted up unless you resist.
I am not resisting.
Okay.
I want out of this place.
You are lifting up. And you can see those nightmares as you start to go in the sky. One of them comes close, and he's watching you. That particular rider is a young-looking pale man with jet black, dark hair swept back from his face, and he has a widow's peak. His eyes are dark and
Wait,
intense,
who is it? Who is it?
and he is finely dressed with a black cloak over his shoulders and a red vest underneath. He's muttering something inaudible, but you can see his lips move. You can't hear him. And as you keep rising, you don't see him anymore.
Okay, but as a player, who is that? Because I'm curious.
Strahd von Zarovich.
Oh, gosh. Seriously?
Yes!
Oh my god!
He's upset that you are leaving.
He's upset that he lost another follower to Selune?
Yes.
He's cursing the goddess.
You find yourself out of this darkness, and you're on this island.
Oh, wait. As I'm lifted up away from him and I can see that he's visibly irritated, I'm gonna flip him off.
Yeah, okay. You're gonna... Peace out. I'm out.
Yes.
So...
Yes.
And the beam
How
stops, you just
ironic
fall.
that it's
Best
you
part
that-
of the movie.
Oriana did that before jumping into a portal.
Yes.
And he's like,
You were on this island. There's nothing but water everywhere. You're on this one lone island. There are...
I'd like to use my instant.
Your instant? Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll come back to you. We're back to Xanthid for a moment.
Yes.
What are you doing now?
As I've been sitting here taking stock, looking around me, is there any type of movement going on?
Besides the sound of creatures you can't see,
Okay.
it's dead silent.
Does it sound like there is running water?
Where you're at? No.
Okay. Then, does it look like there is an animal trail?
No. You're like deep in forest and it's... Yeah.
There's still potential for animal
Yeah,
trail.
no. As you look around...
Using basic knowledge, basic concepts, assuming that this world works similar to any other, I am going to start walking north.
Okay.
The sun to my left, and just walking that direction.
You go the direction you think is north.
Yep.
You're actually in Australia, so it's south.
As you walk between the trees, you actually catch it, and you can see a sort of clearing where you're coming up to. And some of the trees, like, they're parting. They're moving, and the foliage kind of comes out of its way. The roots unfurl, and bushes part, and as you come to this clearing and look down this other direction to your right, you see an elf standing tall, or at least what looks like an elf. He is a green amalgam of colors, shades of green, and he has the shininess of a gem. It looks
50 Shades of Green?
Yes, 50 Shades of Green, and he has a shiny sheen that looks gem-like, like emerald. He looks at you, and he goes, "What is your name?"
Xanthid? What's yours?
Oberon, the Green Lord.
Oberon? I'm gonna rack my brains and see if that name means anything to me.
He says Oberon, and the weirdest thing happens to you. You hear music. He's not playing music, but you hear music.
Kita and Katie got to meet him and Sam Matt.
I hate you.
We don't remember, but we got to meet him.
Yep, you don't remember a lick of it.
You hear music, and it slowly ramps up till it gets overwhelming. You can hear him, but you just non-stop music, and none of it's repeating. It has a constant flow of new chords.
Is it discordant?
No, it's pleasant.
Okay.
It's not the dragon flute.
What's with the fanfare?
What are you talking about?
I hear...
Well, you're hearing nature's music. There is no music.
Oh, so the fanfare is the world. Okay.
You find yourself in the Feywilds. There's some to believe that elves come from here. This is the pinnacle of nature and magic. It sort of all happens here. You have an unexplained power about you. I can't account for it.
Oh, because that's when he needs a bigger head.
But I can offer you more than that if you sign a pact with me.
Oh boy. What do you get?
You do some work for me, and I will give you other types of powers. You become beholden.
I don't like that word. I would prefer a partnership than being beholden.
That's not how these pacts normally work. You will find yourself unable to leave the Feywild without my help. And I'm not asking you for anything severe. I know where you're heading. I know where you're planning on going.
I want to help him move.
That's severe.
Couch and
I mean, he has all the charm and tools.
Krabby's not wrong.
Nature provided.
he's rich forever.
Give him your life.
Careful,
this
Krabby.
something
She might be
permanent?
watching.
Is this something permanent or?
You will gain permanent power. You're beginning quite a lot in the coming days, but you will gain a permanent sense of power.
No, I'm talking beholden to you. Again, I am not very fond of that word. The
Well-
chains that people are bound by are artificial. I do not wish to be bound by anything.
You sort of need to be if you want to keep using those warlock powers of yours. And he smiles as you give that face. You couldn't get away with it forever. I don't ask much of you. You're going to be going back to the plane known as Ravnica.
Hi, Taya.
Hi, Taya.
It worked in the end, didn't it?
I hope you've been here for a while because everyone says it's like really good story.
I will
It's a
not.
real butt clencher.
If I find that our deal is not in my best interest, I have no problem severing ties.
You are free to seek another pact if you want, but mine is going to be the simplest. And I offer it to you here and now.
I'm just telling you my condition. If I disagree with something that you asked me to do, I will not.
This plane you're going to, this Ravnica, it is a recent addition to the multiverse. We need you to work with, at your own leisure, to work with the guilds of the city and the people of the city to help find a way to create a sustained portal between here and that plane. We can't currently come and go as easy as we can with other planes that we've been connected to for millennia.
That doesn't sound too terrible.
That's all I ask is, in the meantime, while you're exploring the city, you try to find a way to create a permanent portal to the Feywild. There may be more tasks in the future, but that's the one we need now.
If that's all you ask of me for the moment, then I have no qualms working with you.
You see him create this green orb in his hands. It expands, and in that clearing behind you now, another section of trees sort of give way, and the roots that unfurl come into this oval shape, like a mirror or a portal, and the green energy. I have saved you from something far worse than this. You see, something awakened in you we don't fully account for, and you were in what's called the Blind Eternities. I brought you here to the Feywild so you had a safe transition. There are people on that plane who know more about this power that I don't. You'll have to seek their help. That is not your warlock power. That is something else entirely.
So this world has cursed me and I have yet been there a day.
And he points to that green portal. Stepping through there will bring you back.
I'm going to make my way back. Do you have anything to help my fallen comrade?
And he looks at you quizzically, and you're talking about the small woman, 9.
Yes.
There's nothing I can do for her, but there are very powerful forces at work in that plane that you're going to. Don't give up on her. It's not the end for her yet.
Oberon?
Oberon.
Alright.
You are now a bard.
Alright. And yeah, I'm gonna walk through
Okay.
the portal, and my
And every
immediate
step,
purpose is to find 9.
every step you take as you get close to that portal, your memory of fighting starts to fade away. You remember fighting. You remember your techniques, your stances, your sword play. That sort of just vanishes from your brain. And the instant you start to feel, if I move my fingers this way, I can create a really cool chord. And I suddenly know this song, and this progression of notes is coming to me. Your memory of being a fighter is being replaced with equal levels of bard.
What? That's awesome!
You can now strum.
Wait, so now you're a lock bard?
Warlock bard, yeah.
That's cool.
Barlock.
That's funny. That's
Is it
really
Barlock or
funny.
a ward?
I'm a bardlock.
Barlock.
I'm a bardlock.
It's really funny because that's exactly what Taya said she wants to play next.
Why not Warlord?
It's a bard lock.
Because I'm focusing more on the bard side.
Good.
Okay.
That's really
However, I am
fun.
calling to valor.
Toss a coin to your hex.
Ooh, maybe I can go hexlock. A bard hexlock.
So, when you step through this portal, that cloudiness takes you again, and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
And dressed.
Yeah.
I swear after break, everyone's gonna be involved.
So after
Why
we
does
start
he-
break, I'm gonna change my class and
He
everything.
keeps like
I know, I just wanna,
freaking out, and we're like,
I feel bad.
we're just like,
In the words of Angela, my butt is clenched.
Okay, you guys are enjoying it, okay.
It's a butt puncher.
yeah.
It is.
Pucker factor.
9 will be fine. I cast enlarge on the shard in her chest.
Oh my god, you are a monster.
Okay, Caleb.
Oh, because she wasn't in the room.
Yeah, she's not here.
He's like looking around like, oh god, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
Just waiting for that knife in his back.
There won't be a knife.
And dressed.
Yes.
You were on
You
this
were like a
rocky
sun.
island. You see large and small flying creatures in the sky. They have faint blue outlines, and they're mostly humanoids with wings. You, being the learned one that you are, you're pretty certain these are celestials.
Ooh.
You're on the shore of this island,
I had an idea.
and there's a great marble, like a great white marble pearlescent keep up a few hatchbacks.
Hatchbacks?
Hatchbacks.
Nissan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Switchbacks.
I will climb said switchbacks.
As you begin to do so, you can see coming down the one you're going up. You go up the first one.
Yeah.
You see a woman with tan skin, and she has stark white, long, flowing hair. She has an armored dress. You know, she's a fine regal dress, but there's leather padding on the shoulders and in front of the chest.
Do I recognize her?
You, if you gave your best assumption and had to make your best guess right now, it is Selune.
I love you. I kind of figured.
She comes down to you and she offers you her hand.
I will immediately take it. No questions asked.
And now you're married. Hey, Weezy.
Okay.
Hi, Weezy.
Andrex would probably be
Krabby said 9 is now 4.5.
Ouch.
That's brutal.
Hey, Weezy.
I like that
Oh.
one.
Hey, Weezy.
We will not mention this VOD for her tonight, so we don't get a shoe the head.
Selune speaks to you, and she says,
Could be.
Andrast, I heard your prayer the entire time you were trapped in that realm, but I could do nothing about it. I feel remorse. I hope you don't feel like you were abandoned. I'm sorry I could not connect back to you. When you defeated that world, you definitely felt my presence then, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have saved you from what you might call the blind eternities. It is not so much a destination as a transition. You were actually in a demiplane we call Shadowfell, but the blind eternities is what brought you there. The blind eternities is otherwise known as the abyss or the void. It's a connection between planes. Now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Do you have any questions for me?
About a million?
What is the meaning of...
I don't know where to start.
That's fine. We'll just say you converse for a little bit,
Okay.
and you're walking up to the entrance to the keep. And
What's up, Grouch Couch?
hi, Grouch
Hey,
Couch.
Grouch
Oh.
And as she's at the front of this keep and there's gates, she's like, I'm afraid you can't come in here yet. Now is not your time. You are not dead yet.
Oh, well. I
Not
guess.
quite dead.
I feel better.
You're not dead yet.
If you want, I can put you back where you were.
You're not full anymore.
Not in the Shadowfell.
Thank you.
She's like,
Just get out of there.
This plane that you were plucked from is a recent addition to what we know as the multiverse. There's a lot to learn there, and I know you like to study.
I do.
I can sense a new addition, a heavy weight to your soul. You will have to learn how to get in tune with it. There's not much I know about it, but I can feel a difference in you.
It's like when you go to Taco Bell.
Any hints on how?
We don't understand the length of, or the amount of power that has yet. There's only a select few of you in existence that I know of. And you happen to be the lucky one?
I think that remains to be seen at this point.
Nothing.
What did you do?
Senpai, help me!
Let's just say that you are now 4.5.
Gravity said 9 is now 4.5.
What did you do?
I love you so much.
He wanted to cast enlarge on the shard in your chest.
Reduce. Enlarge.
You said enlarge!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's the queen?
I love
Just
you.
Who's the queen?
Hey, sweetie.
You are.
Sweetie.
Yeah. No, this is too fun.
It's too fun to watch.
Right?
Do you want me to...
There was legitimate fear there for a second.
It was funny because
I don't think the beard
And
is
dressed.
blind, honestly.
Do you want me to put you back in Ravnica?
That was funny.
Yes.
Okay. Go forth and serve me faithfully and you will be rewarded.
That's cool. It's coffee.
She's going to reach out to you again. Okay, when you touch her hand, you are gone.
Aww. Sad face. Do I still have a level of exhaustion?
I'll never watch
Yes, the both of you are still exhausted at one point.
You're now
Going-
4.75.
Going through the blind eternities is not an easy journey.
Well, no, but I was saved by a goddess. I mean, come on.
She forgot to heal you first.
I know.
We will probably talk about it a little bit more when we go to break, but both of you, Andrest and Xanthip, you are both partial. You both are classified as planeswalkers.
Da, 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 da.
So we have the spark.
You have the spark. And we will go over that a little bit more on break. And I'll explain a little bit more in character when we get back from break.
Does that mean I can be a commander?
Legendary creature, yeah, I suppose. Okay.
Just saying, I think I have a better chance of Jace. Just saying.
Wow.
I mean, planeswalker.
Guess what, though? All my characters are still alive.
But guess what? I got a better chance. Have you seen my persuasion score?
Hey, Zeke. That's you, Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give this to Nina, but do not look at it.
Did you just put a mark on my face?
Yeah.
You butthead!
Katarina, in your dormitory, you have a missive in your drawer,
Okay.
and that is what I handed to you.
Okay.
I just smudged it more, didn't I?
I don't even
No,
see
you
it.
got rid of it.
Okay.
Xanthip, you come back to yourself. The debris pile has been cleared out slightly.
Tacos!
This whole region looks like it's in disarray right now. The siege engine is destroyed. There are bodies in the street, and the battle's over.
As I said, my first instinct after I am present is to look for 9.
Okay.
Because that was the last thing that happened before I vanished.
Yep, you are back. And as you start to look around for 9, Andrast, you are back.
Okay.
Both Andrast, you come in that little wisp of white and blue, and Xanthip, you come in that wisp of green and black. You see that Kalen, they're back. I mean, your friends are back. They come in those little, just like the way Jason and Teferi came. They come with that sort of weird rip in reality for a second, and there they are. And you're both on your butts. I mean, you don't know how to use this yet, but you both kind of just
Do
appear
they
on the ground.
look the same?
Yes, yes. They both look exactly the same as they left.
Just more tired.
I'm gonna stay next to 9.
Okay. You see Jace and coming over, and he yells out to. I don't know how to say her name right. Is it Chandra? Chandra, the planeswalker. Okay.
Chandra.
I don't want to screw it up.
Stu.
You can hear Jace yell out for Chandra, who is still blasting away at the edge of the battle.
Chandra, who is Krabby's girlfriend?
Yes.
Kinda busy.
And she turns around, and you guys can see like her eyes are on fire, her hair's on fire, and she's like fury mode. And Jace's like, "Get over here!" And she sort of.
Get over here.
She sort of.
It's working.
The way Fantastic Four flame on, flame off. Just instantly, she sort of drops the flame and she gains her cool, and she runs over too.
Gains her cool.
Gains her cool.
Are her clothes flame-proof?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Do you want to know if she's naked?
Welcome to the party.
Who's Chandra?
Not yet. The cameras are still on.
Chandra. So,
Why am I giving you a wet balloon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chandra runs over, and Jace, you guys are approaching. They come to 9 if you guys don't stop them.
I have no intentions
Okay.
of stopping them.
I'm trying to clear
And I
the
thought
building
I
off
walked
of
the
me.
line as a DM.
Thanks. They approach 9, and Jace looks her over, and Chandra's.
I'm trying to get to 9 myself.
You're there.
Okay.
Yep. Unless you stop them, they're there too.
I'm going to be interposing my body to theirs.
Okay. We might be able to help her. Scoot.
And I'm going to place my hand on her, and with this newfound power,
Who, 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to place my hand on her, and with this newfound power that Oberon has just invested in me, I'm going to do something that y'all have never seen before. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay. You feel like your magic's effective. You can see parts of her body sort of coming back. Cuts and bruises going away. The shard's still in her. You feel you've never used it before, but you feel like that would have worked. But something's wrong.
So you dropped something.
And Jace tells Chandra, bring her to the Wojek.
To the what?
The Wojek. The Boros have a field presence, and they have doctors called the Wojek. Maybe they can help. We're right next to Sunholm.
I'm going to...
Huh?
They're going to heal her. I'm going to grab her legs and go
Okay.
to pick her up.
So, Chandra helps you if you don't refuse.
Does she...
She picks up
She
9.
looks like she's assisting.
Yes.
I'm going to watch her with a very wary eye.
Okay. You watch her with a very wary eye. And very wary. I'm going to stand up here for a second. And I am a big guy, so this is going to take a second. And I'm going to show you kind of where everything is. Can I park the players here for a second?
I am not the red.
Well, for the moment you are.
Can everybody see?
Sorta, yeah.
Sort of? Okay. So, you guys are up here. This is called the Rubble Belt over here.
The rubble belt?
Rubble Belt. You're in Precinct 4. The 2 of you are in this area. The 4 of you are up here.
Okay.
And furthermore, a little bit closer to where we are, Sunholm is here. When what Jay said was Sunholm, so you guys are up here. Sunholm is here.
Okay.
Jay says it'll be quick to get there. 5 or 10 minutes of walking fast.
Faces past.
Yes, and we're Sunholm bound.
Wait, play it on your new loop.
I can't. I'm carrying 9.
I thought Chandra was carrying 9.
Why can't you play the music?
Except for you don't blow a loop.
Am I out of the rubble, or am I still like?
Yes, the rubble's cleared. The Boros who have still remained in the area have helped clear the rubble. You remember seeing the Azorius show up?
Mm-hmm.
They have departed.
Okay.
Unless anyone's going to do anything.
My aching servos.
So we have not seen technology like that at all, correct?
Nope, and there's going to be a lot more you haven't seen yet.
Huh.
I'm just in like
Are
sheer
you a
shock right now.
gnome creation?
What's an?
You know what gnomes are.
Okay. Elven. Technically elven.
I've never seen such technology amongst my people.
But wait, hang on. And I scratch my head and I go.
You know you come from Eberron.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay.
I scratch my head and I go. Do you know where Eberron is?
You have heard of Eberron.
Yes.
Ta-da!
You don't know much about it, but you do know it exists.
I-
It's a plane you're familiar with.
Huh. I'm sorry, okay?
I'm not laughing at you.
Okay.
I'm laughing at don't touch my servos, my achy breaky servos.
Yeah. Wait, that's not his supposed servo.
No, it's
I know.
not.
It was bothering me too, but I figured I wouldn't correct
I
it.
was like, no, that's not.
Don't touch my
Hey,
servos.
Quite. Oh,
Toys. For some reason,
I
read that
actually-
as cervix.
needed to ask you this.
Don't touch my
Since
servos.
I am technically a warforged, does mending help me?
I don't.
That's actually a good question for you too.
Thus,
Does mending help a warforged?
yes.
I would rule yes, but I would
Cure
rule.
wounds doesn't.
It says we can be cured. I thought this, once you're going up.
Pull up your Eberron book.
Yes.
We'll go over that on break because we're getting close.
Oh, okay. That's the other book I wanted to get. Okay, never mind.
Eberron the Great, the last 4, yeah.
I can technically cast mending on me, and it's 2d6.
So, you guys can discuss as you're walking,
I have a crack right here.
You don't need that.
but
Aw, quiz.
as you pass along through the 4th precinct, you can see in this area it is mostly not torn down, but as you look beyond and you see all city, all of everywhere, as you look beyond, you can see a great big set of towers to the south that are triangle shaped. You can see the edge of a great tree to your east.
Does it sing to me?
No. There are people walking everywhere. Some people stop because they recognize who you're traveling with.
Mm-hmm.
And those people give a range of emotions from joy to disdain. And you get on a elevated walkway. And you come to a large, eventually after about 10 minutes, you come to a large gate entrance. And it's got that fist in a circle shape on the top of it amongst the arches.
I can't find it.
Zeke, you are immediately familiar with Sunholm, which is the capital of the Boros. And you know this is Boros territory.
By the way, going back to why I said an opportunity, I'm a dude of metallurgy, so they need weapons and armor. Thus, opportunity.
Okay. So, you hear Jace talking to a few of the Boros guards, and he's handling the situation. He's accounting for the four of you, and Zeke, you're not uncomfortable, but you know that there's every so often there's tension between the Boros and Izzet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not uncomfortable, but you're not comfortable. You're a little on edge.
I find this as an opportunity to make money, and then if I can make money, then I can have more materials.
Are you wearing your Izzet League symbol?
Oh, of course I am.
Okay. As you walk around with your and I guess the three of you looking at him, he has a symbol on him that looks like the head of a dragon and the wings making a circle around it.
Similar to how the guy had the fist in the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I should probably put that in my inventory.
What about
I did for out of character. If you guys need to look at the guild symbols, I did post in my own channel on Discord.
Okay.
Our Discord, I posted all the a picture of all the guild symbols.
Perfect. What about Jace? Does he have any symbols
No.
on him?
Nope. Nope, he is symbol-less.
Symbols?
Unless you count up Philip got all over his gear.
Jace, you guys can overhear Jace explaining to a captain. He needs to see a Wojek apothecary, and the captain agrees because he sees 9. But as the rest of you try to follow, they're gonna block you. They let Jace and Chandra take 9, but they don't. No. Okay. Well, they're
I'm going with her. She is my companion. You make way.
She's his girlfriend.
Oh.
9 gains conscious just enough to say
No,
she's
she's
not.
not.
Did I time that right?
Yes.
My coffee's gone.
Oh.
They say this is going to be a delicate procedure. We're just the Wojek are just field medics. They're going to do the best they can to remove that without.
I am going to carry her to that bed. I am not leaving her until I know she is safe.
We don't typically let members, people who are not members of the Boros Legion, through these doors.
You don't have much of a choice. I'll make your life miserable.
That's a bad choice of words, friend. We'll let you through, but you're going to be under guard. Who else wants to go? Okay. He allows you two through, and he tries to. If you are you going to try to go?
I mean, there's really nothing else better for me to do.
So you're going to.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Warforged?
Oh, I could care less about the person who's dying.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to go to the nearest merchant / trader / quartermaster and be like, I can fit so many of these broadswords in these. No.
Well, you realize 10 Street, where you would find merchants, is going to be probably about a half hour to your south.
Oh no! I'm actually in the Boros quartermaster trying to see.
Oh.
Hey, what do you guys need? That's big war back there. I mean, they had siege weapons, and you really didn't. So I mean, I could probably whip you up something.
Yeah, about that siege weapon.
Yeah.
The Gruul don't make siege weapons, but a certain technology group might.
Psh, we wouldn't do that.
You sure? You speak for the whole league.
Do I look like I speak for the whole league?
I don't know. You seem like it.
No, but I have opportunity in my name.
Deal's off for now. You better get out of here just until we investigate further. You can consider Sunhome close to the Izzet League for now.
I instantly go.
You're on time now.
Hang on. Let me Stardock's not gonna like that. I'm just like, yep, I was never here.
Okay.
Making my way back to Quinn.
You're gonna go to Quinn?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually gonna take you out of the precinct. because Quinn is going to be in precinct, I believe, 1. Or is it 5?
I thought he was still in 4 because he's still.
Nope. So I thought we talked about this, but maybe we didn't. He's in precinct 5 because the metallurgy workshop is in the blister coils.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the.
Yep.
Then
So it'll take you about 45 minutes to an hour to get there.
Actually, I'd probably go back to Stardock to tell him about the
Okay, you're going to go to Stardock.
misfortune that we're having.
As the three of you see the Boros guard reject Zeke from coming in, do you say where you're going to go?
And I'm just like, my job here is done, sort of. Oh, crap. If you need me, I'll be over in precinct 4.
That's where we are. Not that they would know, but you're still in 4. If you're going to the metallurgy, it's precinct 5.
I'll just do this. I will just whip up some cartography tools via being an artificer and grab my piece of parchment and go and draw them a map with a "you are here."
You see an unusual speed and proficiency as he makes a quick map,
Well, he's
like
a
iRobot.
machine.
That was really hard to decipher.
I know. He's writing language I don't know.
I'm from here and I'm already lost.
Hey, you won.
Yay!
I didn't.
Okay. So
Fair enough, Krabby. Fair enough.
you guys go into these guild halls. You're in sort of a barracks, and now you're in a medical arrangement. And everywhere you see, there's that symbol. There's a fist in the circle. You are deep within whatever faction you're in. You're in their territory. Chandra and Jace place, and you, if you're going to help, they place 9 on this bed, and they're going to start working on her.
And the moment she's on the bed, and I see that everybody looks relaxed, because I'm assuming that's the attitude. Once she's laid down and they step back, they kind of relax a little bit.
Mhm.
That's when I'll just back off. All right, where am I staying?
We don't make a habit of allowing non-Boros to stay in Sunhome.
I didn't ask. I asked where I'm staying.
Because you feel...
If you don't want us here, then set us up somewhere else.
Because you feel so close to this woman, who is also not Boros, but we're doing this for Jace.
Jace is the safety word.
If you go south of Sunhome, you leave Sunhome, you go south for about 20 minutes. There's probably an apartment you can find, or a hotel.
We do not have any currency.
Well, we do. It just might not be.
You said I have no equipment. Nothing.
Your money is gone.
Even money that I would have had from, like, before.
Did you separate which money was from before and which was... How much money do you have?
76 gold.
76?
Because
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because we didn't keep money to ourselves, did we?
No, most of your money went to the guild fund.
Right. So
Or the clan fund.
whatever we had was ours.
There was 200 gold that came to us. That was not set into the guild fund.
Okay, that's fair.
And if it's gold from Iblis, it's gone. So
Right.
I'm just going to say you've got...
And I'm broke. I know that for sure.
Nope, I'm going to say
So
you've got
some.
43 gold.
43. Okay.
Gold pieces.
I'm broke. I spent it all on trying to invest on those stupid stones that don't mean a damn thing anymore.
Tell them you're here on Boros business, and he'll hand you a symbol.
Very similar to the one that I pilfered.
Yes. He'll hand you a symbol. Just tell them the Wojak approve of you staying there overnight. We'll pay the bill.
Is it a brooch, pin?
Yeah, it's a medium sized. It would go around a chain, and it's heavy.
I will grab a string.
Okay.
And just tie it off.
Find an apartment south of Sunhome. They'll let you stay the night. Tell them the Wojak approve.
My name is Xanthip.
Edgar.
And I will turn and go.
There's a virus going around.
It is 8:04, so we are going to go to break, and then I will introduce my other two players. So, thank you for joining us. We're going to take that quick half-an-hour break, and we will be back.
Thanks, guys.
See you in a bit.
Yep.
And we're back. We've got some Thin Mints, so we're currently snacking.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor of
Some
Coach
chocolate-covered cookies that have a minty flavor, and they're kind of thin-shaped.
Not thick. Not thick cookies.
Only one seed.
Oh, my sweet baby.
Thick with a
Jesus,
singular
that's so
C.
good.
Okay.
That's what lemonades at home. And we have 2 boxes of caramel boys.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay, so welcome back.
And
just-
we're back.
Left off with the ignition.
Back to you, Rapin, at the DM table.
The ignition of the Planeswalker Spark for Andrast and Xanthit. You return to the scene of the battle where they, helped by Jace and Chandra, have gone to Sunhome, the capital of the Boros Legion, to hopefully see if the Wojek are able to help Nine with her impaled chest syndrome.
Yes.
So, we're gonna jump a little bit forward while this is happening. So, let's say a few hours later, we are in the 3rd precinct in the Selesnya area, where they are near the giant tree known as Vidugazi.
What's up, Lich?
Hey,
Hi, Lich.
Hello.
We go to a small community around another tree. So there's
Even a dungeon.
Vila Dungeon. There are they're called Vernatis, and they are small communities that are led by dryads that are bound to trees, to smaller, so large but smaller trees, smaller than Vidugazi. Big trees that are smaller than the biggest tree.
It's medium-sized.
Medium-sized trees. They are dryads that are bound to trees.
This is a family stream.
Yeah, you're
Lady.
getting dangerously close to getting us banned. Okay. We are in Precinct 3.
That won't make up for it. Yes.
It is midday. And Hitika? Hitika. I'm
Let's
gonna.
go by George.
No, I'm sorry. It's gonna take some time.
I don't. It's okay.
Hitika?
I'll go by George.
No, Hitika.
Hitika.
Hitika. Hitika. Hitika.
Hatika.
It's a soft I at the beginning. And it's
Tika.
a-
Tika.
Hatika.
Hitika.
Hakuna Matika.
Hakuna Matika. What a wonderful name.
I was gonna go there, but I was afraid to because
Hakuna
normally
Hatika.
that derails for about 20 minutes.
I know.
No
Yeah.
passing
Stop.
way. Means no money
Please stop.
for the rest of your day.
You know those inspirations you just got?
I can
It's
do
our
more.
problem.
0.
Philosophy.
Okay.
Hakuna Matata.
Hitika and Katerina, you guys are going about your daily tasks. You're part of the same Vernati. You have the same Voda, which is the Dryad. You both know her. Her name is Yennefer.
Gesundheit.
It is not what you think it is.
Will you spell that?
Yennefer.
Do I
It's
have
on
it
your
on my
sheet.
sheet?
Yep, both of you have it on your sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She is your Voda.
My Voda.
Over the last... Actually, we'll go to Hatika for a second. Katerina's a relatively new part of your Vernati. She's only been here for what you would estimate to be about 3 weeks.
Okay.
It is not common for an adult to be a transplant into the guild. Normally, guild members are raised from childhood, like you were, or they were born in the guild to start with. But it is not strangely unfamiliar. So it happens. It's occasional. It's rare. Yep.
Of course they're rare.
You know she is a ranger. She fits in perfectly. And you hear through the grapevine that her aspiration is to become a Sagittar, which you understand as a very skilled
Yes.
archer.
I didn't hear that. Very skilled what?
Archer.
Archer.
Yep. In your society, you know Sagittar is a title, and you know you were actually offered some titles yourself. For those who have recently come to power in the guild, usually 3 jobs open up right away. Being an evangel, to being a votary, or being a Sagittar. You don't use a bow very much, so you weren't looked at to be a Sagittar, but you were offered to become an evangel or a votary, and you chose not to. Which is fine. Nobody is upset at you about doing that. You know that Jericho is a little pissed at you for not stepping up to become a Ledev guardian, but he gladly took the role for you. So you know that Katarina is being trained to become a Sagittar.
Okay.
Yennefer will catch you guys, and actually that's what we're gonna do. She will catch you guys and we'll come back.
Okay.
She will bring both of you to the center tree and she's gonna talk to you. Those couple hours have passed. It is not nighttime yet. It is afternoon. It's late afternoon. And you were summoned back to Sunholm since you guys left. This is now the 3 of you, or you're out visiting your goblin friend.
Correct.
Excuse me. Dry throat, not COVID, I promise. I've been talking for 2 hours now.
And you're not used to it.
Okay. Xanthip and Andrast and Kaelin, you've been summoned back to Sunholm.
Oh.
I don't know.
Hmm?
Did we get our apartment?
Yeah, you guys went over there and you started to, you got comfortable, but a few hours have passed, and you've been summoned back.
Okay.
So, I'm going to leave it in your guys' hands at the moment, but you receive...
How are we summoned?
So, in the building you're in, a worker comes up to your room and...
Oh, someone's here.
What's up?
Hi, Xanthip?
Yes.
I have a missive for you.
Thank you.
It basically says...
It's a CVS receipt?
Yep. Pass that
You need longer arms.
Yeah. It basically amounts to, you may return to Sunholm, we have news for you.
Apparently we have to go back. And I was just getting ready to take a shower.
Surprisingly, there are showers.
Okay. My sarcasm just got caught up to me. Wait a second here. Gather what little belongings I have, and I'm going to... You guys coming with?
Before we leave, I want to get as, like, if they both start walking to the door, I want to go up between them and smack them both, like, on the arm.
Okay.
You two left me!
Not by choice.
Not on purpose.
Still!
We're here. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
Xanthip's back.
No. As he's doing this, though, he pulls out his lute and just be like,
That's strange.
Yes.
That
Like, straight up, I just pull my lute out and I start playing a happy, jaunty little tune.
You realize when you guys were in hopping and Ivolus, he played, but this sounds really
This
good.
is way
I
better.
was always severely outshone.
By Allure.
By
That's
Allure.
fair, but you,
Like,
I mean,
and now I'm playing as good, if not better than her.
when did that happen?
I've always been good.
Bull.
Not that good.
Thanks. Hurt my ego, why don't you?
Well, yeah.
Because you
Anyways.
need a bigger one?
Yes.
No.
That was good.
That was also not on purpose.
Armageddon!
And I'm going to, now that I feel so much more comfortable on this, I'm just going to walk down the street playing music.
And no one even really gives you a second look. I mean, it's not.
I'm going to revel in my newfound power.
Yeah. Well, give me a performance check. Let's see just how good you are.
boy. You just jinxed yourself.
24.
Yeah, people who are walking either your direction or against your direction, the street is crowded.
Mhm.
A lot of them will look back at you while you're playing, and you can see some of them smiling, and there's people standing in archways and they're watching you.
And it's going to be a jaunty tune. I'm just going to...
Okay.
Not so much the happy, uplifting, I want everybody to dance and smile. It's going to be jaunty that makes people feel like they are invigorated.
And you see a goblin walking by, and he's taking big strides. He's like, "Hey, you're good."
You're a goblin.
Yeah, what about it?
How can I help you?
You can't. Bye.
Okay.
That was weird. Goblins
Oh,
just
gosh.
walking the street.
Jeffrey just walked
You're
by.
pulling a
Jeffrey just
Vistra in Narthen.
Yes.
I'm walking outside.
More or less.
And also Jeffrey Tobago walks by.
I'm
It's like,
walking
ah.
outside.
And yeah, complete cognitive dissonance. You just... Bam. Goblin.
And there's several. Goblins are common in this area.
Right, and it's starting to register in my brain that
Yep.
this is
You
normal.
It's like seeing a Wisconsin plate when you're down in the cities.
Not so much.
And then you're like, oh wait, that's not that far away.
Yeah.
So yeah, and just continue to play as we head to Sunhole.
Yeah, you see, as you walk, you see workers, you see what looks like a healer covered in blood, you see goblins, you see merchants, you see soldiers, and there's lots of soldiers. A lot of them are wearing that fist with the circle symbol.
Which I now have strung around my neck.
Some, how presently?
I'm gonna hang it.
Okay. You get some nods of approval.
I'm gonna be the Boros version of Flava Flav right now. Just have
Oh,
it right
God.
there.
You get some. Actually, high or low, buddy?
I'm going with high.
Okay.
Not yet.
A human's actually, he's gonna put his hand out and stop you for a second.
Hmm?
Where's your armor?
It got lost when I wound up between worlds.
You're one of those walking types.
That's what I use my legs for.
You know, the ones that go between worlds.
I don't know. It just happened. Like literally less than 6 hours ago.
Well, go pick up a new set from Sunhome. A
I've
Boros
already
soldier is nothing without his armor.
I'm already headed to Sunhome. Thank you.
And he lets you go.
Mm-hmm.
You've learned it's unfamiliar for Boros soldiers to not be donned in armor.
That's
Good to know.
We eat, sleep, and breathe armor.
So,
kind of crunchy metallic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nom nom nom.
okay.
Metallics.
The three of you give a perception check.
Ooh,
Anybody roll higher than 22?
dang it.
What'd you get?
23.
21.
Sorry.
Butthead.
12.
Inspiration.
Passing the 12.
Alert. Or no, observant.
Even though you're playing and walking, you can overhear two people with Boros symbols talking. And one said, "I saw an angel and a demon having what looked like a polite conversation. I have never seen that before." And you keep walking.
And file that way.
That was.
Okay. Unless you guys do anything else, you're back at Sunholm
Yep.
in the medical chamber.
I'm going to walk in, and as soon as we get into the entrance of Sunholm, apparently I need armor.
You're not a Boros Legion member. No, we know that's temporary.
And I'm just going to be grinning.
You can have armor if you join the Legion. We're always looking for new recruits to fight.
I'll consider that, thank you.
Okay. What about you two? You want to join the Legion? We always need street fighters.
I'm not so much the fighter
Candy
type.
Blanca.
What about you?
We just got here.
Okay. Well,
I'm keeping my options open.
I'm still confused as to what's all going on, so.
keep your mind open. If you're looking for employment and you like to fight, we like to hire.
It's not a problem for her. Her mind is like a sieve.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Hey Xanthan, can I see your loot for a second?
Nope.
We always need soldiers, and we even hire out mercenaries. So if you're looking for hire,
I'll keep that in mind. Thank
this
you.
area, as you may have already found, is pretty dangerous.
I've got
The
more
girl
of a
like to
mind.
invade.
I'm more of a mind for business.
You're not Zova, are you?
I am Xanthip.
Well, I haven't heard of a guild called Xanthip, so
Oh, I'm not a guild, I'm me.
he lets you through. You get to the chamber where 9 is kept, and Edgar's looking over you, and he has kind of an unamused face.
How can I... Why are we here?
I don't think there's anything more I can do for her. She isn't dead,
Oh, that's a bonus.
but we can't heal her with traditional means. Something is very odd. It's like something is holding on to her spirit. We can't seem to revive her. We know she's there. You might be best served bringing her to Vidugazi.
You're gonna need to give us more than a name.
And you're indoors now, but you remember, have you seen a really giant ass tree?
Yep.
Okay, go there.
Okay.
Can somebody give us
How appropriate.
like an escort or something? Because we're not exactly from here.
Or should I just keep wearing this like a giant...
You'll have to
Well,
return
we're
that
on
now that
chest.
you're not, unless you're gonna join the Legion. We're gonna take that back.
Oh, fine, be that way.
Okay. Wait, what was that?
She's not there.
I know.
You have sword coat on.
Okay.
I do have a question of you.
How new are you to Ravnica?
Less than 24 hours.
Actually, less than 12.
Are you like the Guild Pact?
The what?
Huh?
We are from a completely different world.
We
So
are
you're like the Guild
twice
Pact.
older.
Great. More of you weirdos.
Excuse you.
Is that a hint of jealousy I hear?
No.
Well, with my passive insight of 12.
It's not jealousy. It might even seem like a little bit of hatred.
Doesn't your insight go up with observant?
Yeah.
Yeah, by 5.
Well, no, your perception does.
But he's not proficient in insight.
You guys are at
I'm
Sunholm.
not proficient with
But
insight.
he's proficient.
You're in the 4th precinct of the 10th district.
Okay.
I suggest you don't leave the 10th district. That's where everything sort of happens. The other districts of Ravnica City, of Ravnica proper, they tend to be a lot less patrolled, and they tend to be wholly owned by guilds. All 10 of the guilds are present here. Vidugazi is in precinct 3. So, and he's going to point to the east.
I'm going to pull out the sketch that our robot friend made.
Well, your robot friend didn't make this.
Right.
No.
He only really gave you directions between Sunholm and the Rebel Belt when you
Gotcha.
started this. He looks at that map and he's like, no, it's not on this map. And he points. The map that you were given is just this area,
Right.
and he points this way.
Okay, at least we have a general direction.
You have to go east. There's kind of a big wall that separates the precincts in most areas, but there's lots of ways in and out. They're not guarded or patrolled. They're just...
I seem to be a little bit more in tune with nature. It shouldn't be too hard for me.
Okay, sure. Just find a road and head as east as possible, and you'll see it'll go a lot less tan and brown and a lot more green.
Do you happen to have a cart or something with which we can transport her without her bouncing and being jostled too much?
Do you have any money?
No. But I think it would be in your best interest as a healer to look out for the safety and well-being of one who is under your charge. And if need be, I will roll persuasion.
Do.
19.
Luckily, we're on good terms with Slesnia right now. You hint that he says right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, but they will bring her to Vidugazi or wherever they want to bring her, and that's it.
I am only looking for the cart. I will do all the work. I just simply need something.
You don't want guards?
If it is necessary, then fine. But I will do the work for carrying her.
How about we send 2 Wojek with you, till you hit the bridge to Precinct 3? Because once you get out of Precinct 4, the girl don't usually go there.
Fair enough. I don't want to take your Wojek. If we need to.
They'll guard you to the 4th to the 4th to 3rd bridge.
I much appreciate that.
Okay. Anybody want to do anything? Okay. 2 Wojek soldiers, really decked out in decent armor, red cape with the fist and circle on it, long swords, helmets. They don't talk to you, but they will walk with you. And you have a cart to carry of 9.
And I will give them thanks. Even if they don't speak, I will give them thanks.
Yeah. Okay. We'll speed up a little bit. Unless you guys are going to do anything else, Kaylin, Andrast.
No,
Zeke, what are you doing?
Beating the crap out of my mentor in that game.
Okay. You are winning. Well, actually, roll 3d20s.
Oh. Getting fancy with me. I really need to get one of those dice crown bags. 1, 2, 3. 12, 16, and a nat 20.
Yeah, you are beating him.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You are actually kicking his little goblin ass.
That's right, and he's going to owe me some money.
Okay. We fast forward to the cart arrives. You get to the bridge, and there is not so much. Actually, there kind of is. There's a deep chasm, but there's one of several bridges that connect between the two. There's a big stony wall, and then you can see buildings and trees and nature that way. And you see another walls as you leave through this gate. I suggest you don't fall down there.
Really?
And
when I grow wings, I'll make the leap. But today, I'm walking.
Hey, Andrast.
Yes.
You have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Roll perception. You have dark vision also? Okay, both. You do too?
Yeah.
Great. All 3 of you roll perception.
No.
I have
I
extra
don't.
color vision. I can see it tonight.
Who rolled over 14?
I rolled a 17 on the die, so.
As you guys look over, if you look over to the chasm,
Mhm.
you see structures. They're far down. But dark vision allows you to see structures. And who had the highest roll?
I don't know. I had a 22.
I beat you.
I had, because that was perception.
But only by what?
Xanthip, you
Definitely.
see figures walking around.
Are they doing the whole labyrinth David Bowie walking sideways thing?
No, they're walking around.
And why shouldn't we jump down there?
Well, A, it'll hurt like hell. You might die. And secondly, the Undercity is dangerous.
Good to know. Thank you.
That is a hint that there is more than just the surface.
Yeah. And the word under.
Nudge.
Alright, I'm going to shoulder throw one of the guards over the bridge.
Roll to hit.
No.
Okay.
Thank you for the advice, and I'm going to continue.
Okay.
Thank you for your service as well.
They travel back the road you traveled.
The path well traveled.
Yep.
Quite well.
The bridge is large. It's huge.
Are we talking like 6, 8 people wide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And as you walk down the streets of Ravnica, you see lots of pathways and roadways, carts and people.
Is it like a Middle Earth bridge, or does it have handrails?
It doesn't have handrails.
So
Actually, no. This one does.
Oh, okay.
This one does. I'm sorry. This one does.
Okay.
You guys get to. You get into the 3rd precinct.
Woohoo!
So in the area you are, you hear and you start walking through. The density of buildings becomes less.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're in a more natural area. You see a lot of wood houses instead of stone. It's a lot less brown, a lot less dreary. The clouds are still above you. It's still dark clouds. But there's a lot of trees and grass and more natural walkways.
I
And
start hearing music again.
no.
Okay.
Nope.
You're going to visibly see Xanthic out a little bit?
You all hear a lot of animal noises. You can hear you hear birds, you hear dogs, you hear wolves, you hear bears, you hear all sorts of dogs and bears. Oh my, yeah. You hear feline noises. I mean, there's animals everywhere.
That
So-
makes me feel more comfortable being a wood elf, and also having nature around me. I'm like,
The
that's better.
general people in this area have gone less from goblins and humans to half elves, elves, and humans.
I feel right at home.
Yeah, it's almost like you're in a whole different city
That's
than where you were.
odd,
Yet
but
you've
kinda
never
cool.
crossed borders.
It's odd but kind of cool.
So
I like it.
if you guys continue to walk, nobody interrupts you.
I'm heading towards the giant tree.
It is visible now, even from where you're at the edge of the district, or the precinct, I mean. You can see it clearly. And a lot of people, as they're walking by, will look at 9. You know, say they tend to care for their fellow men and women. And nobody really stops you or offers you, but you see a lot of concerned faces.
Am I dead yet?
Does she still?
Oh,
have the,
definitely.
do you still have the
Are you killing me?
accessory in her
Yes.
chest?
Slowly?
Oh, no. So, sorry, that's something I forgot to mention.
I love it.
The
That's softly, not slowly, love.
the metal support beam is gone. The Wojaks were able to remove it, but she's still not conscious. I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
Are they giving any odd looks because she's tiefling?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Well, how would you know? If you give an insight check.
Not a bad place.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you see. You have to imagine it's because she's hurt.
Okay.
That would be your best guess. As you guys walk past, so in the distance, about a few miles, you see the beginning, or actually the top of this big tree, the Vidugazi. And as you walk down these dirt pathways inlaid with wooden steps, you see other larger trees scattered. Have any of you seen a dryad before?
No.
Okay.
No, but I read about.
I was gonna say you probably have read about them,
Actually, yes. I was just in the Feywild.
but you didn't see a dryad. You didn't. You saw nothing while you were there except for Oberon.
And he's technically not a dryad.
No, he's not. So
What?
you
No, I'm thinking it probably not.
you've read descriptions of dryads. You've never seen one, but if you look closely near these big trees, there are womanly, matronly figures that look humanoid or elfish in nature, but they have leaves for hair and it's long and they look like the green giant on the vegetable packet. You know, they look all green.
Did you just describe a dryad
Yes.
as a female jolly green giant?
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's Prisa.
Do you want to correct me?
Yes.
Don't.
I kind of want to, just because he told me no.
That's how they are in here. Different plane.
Fair enough.
So they're not green giants. I said that it looks that shape of green.
They look like Sylvari.
Yes, they look like Sylvari from Guild Wars.
That I can accept.
Thank you.
Still like the Jolly Green Giant.
Thank you.
I
So
understand that one more than
I'm gonna go this way with the utensils that are coming towards your face.
Hatika and Katerina, you guys actually, since you're near what you know is the Beast Haven, your Vernati is in the Beast Haven.
Okay.
You guys look at the road and you see this band of 3 with a wagon.
A half-orc, an elf, and... What are you again?
Walk into a tree barn.
Or high elf.
High elf, yeah.
What elf?
A wood elf, a high elf, and a half-orc.
The half-orc's a
Walk
little
into
out
a
of
grove.
place, the elves are not.
Walk into a grove.
And
not judging.
what is 9 again?
Tiefling.
Tiefling.
Tiefling. Okay, that's right.
She's a TIE fighter.
Tiefling's also a bit strange. But you guys see them coming and they're 50, 60 feet away from you walking down a path. And Yennefer is looking at you both and she's about to say something to you, but she looks over and she goes, I think you two should help them. I can sense that the one in their cart is mortally injured. Bring them to Virugazi. Help them get in and see if one of our healers can help restore that wretched soul.
Oh.
Ouch, but okay.
Wretched
Uh,
soul.
Ow.
So I'll walk up and introduce myself. Well, hi there.
He's Minnesotan.
No.
Hey there, how are you doing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you
can.
guys are gonna need some help there.
I've got her. Who are you?
Well, my name is Hatika. I'm a resident, I guess you could say. I live here. I'm offering my assistance if you would like it.
We're trying to get to the big tree.
That's where we were told to go.
That's where I can take you.
So you see, do you want to describe what race you are?
Yes, I'm a humongous. I'm 8 feet tall, furbolg, super beefy, but super sweet.
So none of you have seen Furbolg? You've read about them. They are descendants of giants.
Wait, who's read about them?
You.
Me?
Yep.
Oh.
You've read about Furbolg in your books. They are descendant from giant blood.
Okay, even if... Wait, so they're not necessarily strictly from Ravnica?
No.
Okay.
In fact, he's oh no, he is from Africa. Yes, he is
Right,
from Africa.
but furbolgs.
No, they exist
They are-
other.
They are
Okay.
distinct
Yep.
from
I'm gonna be like,
That's why I was pissed.
and I'm gonna step out from behind him.
Yes.
It is spooky.
He's fuzzy.
Master Blaster.
Yeah, sorry. I've got a beard, little brown, short brown beard, short brown hair. My ears stick up kind of like elf ears, but they're fuzzy.
I'm gonna, walk up to you and... I'm actually not that tall. I'm 5'6". But I'm gonna, on my tippy toes and reach up and, take your head in my hands and, turn either way and, huh. Neat.
Oh, aren't you're a curious little one?
I'm not that short.
I've never seen one of you before.
Oh,
He's a furbolg?
I'm a furbolg.
Cool.
Because I would assume there aren't any in Faerun, right? Or in the Sword Coast?
In Waterdeep, no.
Well, it should be like, I like your ears. Those are cool.
Thanks.
You might find
I
them
was
in
born with
deep
them.
forests.
Okay.
They tend to live isolated,
Could be Maybelline.
and you don't see any more of him around.
Anyways, your friend here is looking pretty hurt. Oh, I'm sorry.
As I peek around,
Oh, this
Hi.
is a cat face.
Oh, okay. Hello.
we're here to help you. Get you where you're going to help your friend.
Fantastic. I'm heading towards that big tree, and I haven't stopped moving.
Okay.
Forgive him, he is a little bit...
I understand he's preoccupied.
This is just him. Am I wrong?
Jaded, I think anybody would pay good money for that.
C4 on a room?
So before
Yeah.
you guys walk away, Yennefer looks at the two of you. When you get to Vidugazi, look for Nissa.
And who is Nissa again? I'm sorry. I remember. I just don't remember right now.
You don't really know her.
Oh, I don't know her.
No.
Nope.
Why?
Huh?
Why? Not
Why?
I.
What?
Why not I?
I have to
NYSSA.
spell it the way I'm.
Nissa.
There, take that.
I'm sorry.
I have to.
I was trying to pick on.
I have to spell it the way I'm gonna pronounce
Yep, that's the way
I know
tried
who
to
I
do
want to
this.
meet now. My Ravnica goals.
My Ravnica goals.
it. Well, yeah. Let's go take care of your friend here.
Yes. I haven't
Your
stopped moving.
Ravnica goal was to meet Jace. Mine is to meet what's her face?
Oh yes, what's her face? I knew her.
Oh,
well.
She's
yeah.
in my commander deck, and I can't remember her name.
What
Susie.
color is she?
Black.
Lilith.
No,
Liliana.
Liliana. Yes, she's my Ravnica.
I was trying to.
Oh,
think
you
of her.
sweet summer child.
I'm
We
just
have to
going to
go
make
down the
Nico
pit to
Bolas
meet
my
her.
pet.
Probably.
Is she just gonna like take? She's just gonna be like, okay, here's my heel. You can kiss it now.
I mean, I flipped off Strahd, so I mean.
I think that was more character or that was more player than character flipping him off.
Both.
Okay. So
So
you
Breath of Shadowfell.
And where'd that get you?
you will need the two of them to get you into Vidugazi, just like you had.
Absolutely.
Right, but I'm not stopping.
As you get closer, the tree becomes impossibly larger. You are still a mile away from it, and it looks like it's right next to you.
You know, I've read about trees like these. They're called redwoods.
Weird.
I've heard that
This is
on
bigger.
some realms you can drive cars through them.
Actually,
What's
that
it
one fell
called?
down.
It's like a giant cart.
That was yeah, that tree fell down actually.
It did,
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
Yeah, I know.
and it was just recently.
A couple years ago.
Okay.
I
Rest
was
in
bummed
peace.
out because I actually drove through that tree.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah.
So have I.
Not me. I haven't seen it.
I wanted to.
The redwood forest is cool.
You guys make your way to the entrance,
Yes.
one of many.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming I can present myself, or we can present ourselves, and they'll let us right through.
Yep, there are
Behold.
these guards at this entrance are elementals. Nature elementals. They look like trees, but they're sentient.
Are any of them speaking?
They look at Hatika and Katerina, and they give a sort of slow nod, letting them in, and then they pause for a moment for the rest of you, and a female elf comes from behind a sort of wall or a wooden post, and she goes, I need to sense your direction.
That way.
And she reaches out and she's going to touch you if you allow her to.
Does it look threatening?
She won't.
No, she's like,
As long as it looks like it's non-threatening, I'll just kind of.
you must enter Vidugazi without ill intent.
I have a friend in need. I don't think there's any ill intent with that.
She's going to touch you if you don't resist.
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm responding to her.
And she closes her eyes and she
And then pokes you in the eye because she closed her eyes.
she closes her eyes and you can see her eyelids are fluttering, and
Are you okay in there?
shh. And she removes her hand. You may enter next.
What about the one in the cart?
And she steps forward and puts her hand, and you can see. Yes.
And I start walking.
She had a jumpy reaction.
She just
I'll
her hand.
ask her about it. What did you see?
Are you asking her loudly or kind of privately?
I'll just say how I just said it.
And she's going to get closer to you. Everybody else make perception rolls, except for Hatika.
She touches her mouth. All you hear is, I like horses, 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 I like horses.
That would be true.
Yeah, actually.
She says to you, and anybody who rolled over 20 can hear this.
Well, I can see it anyways because I can read lips.
She says to you, I'm having a hard time detecting her soul.
Oh, okay. That's not good. I don't think that's good. That doesn't sound good. Anyways, let's go.
And she looks at
I'm walking.
Andrast and Kaylin.
I'm gonna walk forward.
Okay, Andrast put her hand out first. She senses your intent, and you can go. She senses your intent, and you can go.
I do want to look at because those, I know those are elementals, correct?
Yes.
I want to look at one, and in Primordial, because I speak Primordial, you are beautiful. I'm gonna keep walking.
You're pretty certain if a tree that looked like an elemental could smile, it did.
Aww.
Gave
I
a
can
little,
finally use free.
gave a little flex of its leaves, like it's flexing.
Aw.
Yeah.
It
That is
blushes.
the first time I've used.
Yeah.
So
that
its
is-
leaves change colors.
Yeah.
No, that is the first time I have used Primordial.
Look.
And it'll be the last. Would I know where to go to look for Nissa?
You wouldn't.
I would not. Okay.
No.
Can I ask the guard?
The lady, the
Yeah.
guard.
Luckily, Nissa's still here. Do you know, you guys have been to Vidagazi before. You know that there's lots of a lot of the tree is carved out on the inside. It's
Okay.
hollow. There's entire like dining rooms and bedrooms. It's so massive. It is like a skyscraper worth of space on the inside of the tree. So you know there's lots of carved in wooden spirals that go up, and lots of branching. It's huge on the inside. It's like the TARDIS. So
Did you draw that?
no.
It sounds gorgeous though.
She says to you, I believe Nissa's on level 18.
There's
Level
elevators.
15 is Andre.
There would be elevators if you were in the Izzet League, but right now
Yeah.
the tree doesn't have elevators.
How are we supposed to get the cart upstairs?
There is a pulley lift. I mean, there's a couple you have to take.
Quick question. Physically, 9 is healed.
9 appears to be breathing but unconscious.
Why don't we just carry her then?
Going
Like
up
a sack
17
of
flights.
I'm going to do
Bridal style.
the proper princess
Okay.
carry.
It takes you about 10 minutes,
There's
and
not a second.
Katarina
That's a
and
good workout for your
Hatika.
biceps.
Katarina and Hatika are in the lead.
I'm going to
'Cause
do it slightly smart though. I'm going to put her arms over my neck so that
the elf guardian explained which room she's in. You guys get there without much hassle. Are any of you wearing any? Well, you guys don't have guild sigils. You guys do have wooden Selesnya symbols. Are you wearing your?
no, but it's in my pocket.
Okay. So nobody stops you. They know you two. You guys don't come to the tree very often, but you've been in here before.
But we stand out too.
Yep.
So they know if you came in.
So they bring you to the chamber where Nissa is.
What color is your fur, by the way? Sorry.
A really dark, smoky gray.
And you see an elven woman. She's got very sharp pointed ears.
Ship ice with us.
I could just see her like laying down, and you're just like, "Oh, pet the kitty," and she's like, "Ah," pulls out the bill.
That's not petting.
So kitty.
She has this really really sturdy looking gnarled staff that has a sort of there's like a 3-pronged top to it that twists back together at the very top. It's got a little green core, and it's sitting on the side of the room, and you guys are in a 30 by 30 room, and the walls are made of wood, the floor is made of wood. It's the inside of a tree. She's got pulled back black hair with beads and stuff in it. There's a picture of her in the Discord if you want to look in my channel.
One of my favorite planeswalkers.
She watches as the two of you enter, and who are you?
I am Zanvet.
Oh, speaking to because they're the first at the door.
Katarina. Sorry.
And Hitika.
Selesnya members, of course, I take it.
That's correct. Are you Nissa?
I am.
Oh, okay. We've been looking for you. We were told to bring a wounded person to you.
Who told you?
The person.
I told him.
No, my.
No.
Hold on. My Voda. Yennefer.
You Voda? Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay. Enter. And she watches the rest of you file in, and she looks especially critical at Xanthip and Andrast. And she sort of stares at you two.
She needs help.
What's wrong with her?
She's not coming back.
Put her on this table. And you can see Nissa put her hands on 9, and her eyes glow green. And she
You must
sits.
be like that blue guy that we saw earlier.
Or the red girl.
Or the red girl.
The red girl and blue guy.
Hmm?
Talking about Chandra and Bellerin.
Oh,
No.
yes. Bellerin? No.
No.
Jace.
Wasn't his name
His name is
Jace?
Jace.
Jace, yeah.
Yeah, Jace.
Yeah, that's
She
right.
seems
Ooh.
displeased.
Oh.
Maybe
Okay, I'm not
maybe
gonna
just
make
let her do her work. That's
Yeah.
probably smart.
I'm worried about my friend.
I'm gonna look at these
So
two.
are we.
I'm gonna look at Andras and Xanthip and quietly say, maybe we shouldn't bring his name up anymore.
He saved us. How can he be a bad person? She saved us. How can she be a bad person?
True.
I have no problem with Chandra, but I really wish Jace wouldn't have turned his back when I needed him most.
Oh,
Ah.
sibling squabbles, I guess.
I am most certainly not a sibling, and you'd be well to not mention that. And she goes back to.
We should focus on
I'm just
that.
gonna put my hand over Xanthip's
I'll pull you two off to the side and check you guys out. Make sure that you're not hurt or anything.
Have we had a long rest by this point?
No.
What is
You
it,
might have
Mr.
had a short-
Holiday high.
You might have had a short rest if you want to spend hit die, since you spent a couple hours in
I'm
the
okay.
apartment.
I'm not hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can heal you if you're.
Well, I suppose we're still injured from the building falling.
Yes.
It didn't
Yeah.
get healed when we jumped planes.
No. Nope. And you guys both still have 1 point of exhaustion. You haven't rested yet.
Not long
So
rested.
we're a little bit beat up, but
Yeah, I can definitely
Yeah, I would
cast
say-
2 wounds on
I was gonna
one
say-
and you can do it on the other.
Sure.
Part of a building fell on us.
Okay.
I was able to get out of the way, but those two kind of got crushed.
Cure wounds.
You guys see, as Nissa's hands are sort of floating around,
It's a D8, right?
floating around Nine's body, and you see something oddly familiar to only Andrast, as the green aura from her hands is kind of leaving traces of aura around, as her hands, it's like old Windows cursors, if you move the mouse and it follows. She's moving her hands and she's leaving little trails. And one time when she moves her hands, like a little tiny arc of black lightning shoots out into the wall. And she goes, that's why she's not recovered.
10.
Her spirit is still in the blind eternities. She never made her journey back.
how is that?
How do we get her back?
Yeah.
I will have to go.
No. She's our friend. We will be going with you, if anything.
And how do you propose we do that?
That's why I'm asking her.
Are you even planeswalkers?
I don't even know what a planeswalker is.
Then I better go.
I'm going with you.
It'll take 2 days.
Okay?
If you're not a planeswalker, this will kill you. Only
Where-
planeswalkers can survive the blind eternities.
We've already been there. I've already been there.
When?
Less than 8 hours ago.
Do you know how to make a jump?
Nope.
Great. What about you? I can sense something from you too.
I think that's what Selune said when she rescued me from the Shadowfell.
They both went,
Oh, they did, huh?
yeah, and then they went, and and landed on their butts. So.
Okay. She puts her hands out in opposite directions to reach both of you. As in, if you'll take her hand or not.
Oh, she's reaching her hand out?
Yeah, she does this to you two.
I'm going to, with a bit of...
And she looks at the other three of you. This will take 2 days. You may stay. You two are Selesnya natives. You know that Vidogazi is home, or you can go back to your Vernati. She may stay wherever she needs. She may stay with you if you want.
You can stay with me if you'd like.
The cat lady says you can stay with me.
I'm just like.
Do you purr?
Are you asking that in character?
No.
Okay.
She's not going to
I'm gonna
argue
look-
that she's a cat.
I'm gonna look at you and go, thank you.
I am the crazy cat lady. I have 6 cats. I'm not going to argue that I'm a cat.
Are you two ready for this?
I have 4.
Yes.
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay.
Please come back to me.
We will.
Don't leave me alone.
You
I'll
feel
keep,
We'll
I'll
take
keep
good care
her.
of her.
We'll keep good care of her while you're
You
gone.
could like mom for whatever.
the two of you
Which is why I'm more comfortable.
feel a
there
very,
because I would've.
very
I'm more comfortable with
powerful
nature.
surge of energy jolt from your hands throughout your body, but this energy is not unfamiliar. You recognize this sort of jolt as the same sort of energy that transported you in the first place. And you two are gone. The three of you, linked hands, are in this black space that you both were just in. And this time you see a mixture of the white, red, and blue puffs of energy in the area. Now that two of them are off plane,
I was gonna say,
how does Fireball work across planes?
Hi, DM.
It would really suck if a random fireball landed.
Yeah, lands.
It hits in It hits Barovia.
Yeah. There you go.
It's
That was a
Strahd,
1.
It doesn't hit anything.
Sorry, buddy.
Strahd, right where he stands. Everybody
Right.
Barovia. Well, that was easy. Okay, let's go home.
Have to work that into the campaign when they come back. So Strahd's standing there and
So, quick question, Patrick, and I know I should have asked this earlier. Because I'm trying to remember when we first started part 1, when we landed in that new world, we were wearing clothes that matched that world, correct?
That did not happen here.
Okay.
You basically, the entire time, you've basically been in traveling clothes or less.
Okay.
So, and your weapons and armor are gone.
Okay.
Any money you earned in Iblis is gone.
Including any health potions.
Yes. Yep. You're basically equipmentless. If you have that Marinthian Starblade of Healing, you still have that.
Okay.
Oh, also to answer your question, Joe, magical healing still does apply to me.
But not like nature-based healing, like potions and stuff like that?
No, I'm treated like a human.
Oh, so you get healing from regular and mending?
That is a DM discretion.
Okay.
this is me, by the
I
way.
might let mending affect you, but it's going to be very, very light. It's going to be like a D4 almost.
Once I you
Because
get
it's a
cure.
cantrip.
I like it.
Mending is a cantrip, so you can cast it over and over again.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
no,
that's,
it's just-
yeah.
Like
one-
3, 5.
1d4.
It says in the book.
Yeah, healing word.
It's
1d4
like healing
plus
words.
mod.
Healing word is
From
Still
mending?
a spell. So
It's
you
the
have
first
to
time
take
spell.
it.
If it's the
first
discretion,
spell,
then it'll be
yes.
like a D4 for
But it's
mending.
distance. That's
Because
what
mending can be
Yeah.
cast over and over and over again.
That is true.
It's cool.
Right, because mending's
So,
so you can do
We'll agree for now that mending is a D4.
Okay.
Plus
I remember
nothing.
that picture. I've seen it before.
Every minute I can be like,
We love you
"Blom,
too,
blom,
Tristan."
blom,
Love
blom."
you too, Twist.
See ya, Twist.
Bye.
See twist.
Okay. Where was I going next? I had something else planned. Give me a second to think here.
Blame Joe.
No, that one on me. I started this like you.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Blame Darian.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're with Stardock.
Okay.
And Stardock has a communications device,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell that it goes off. And he's like, Give me a sec. And he picks it up and he listens. Are you sure? Well, why is he special? Fine. Ral Zarek wants to see you. How can you be that way? He's the sec. You want to meet Niv Mezit, don't you?
Yeah, but
he's your second best choice.
But second in command.
He's the Firemind's left-hand man.
Just want to go straight to the first.
Well, no.
So much paperwork.
No,
There's no.
it's
What are you talking about? There's no
travel
paperwork.
I don't
Go to
care
Nivix.
or anything.
What's that? How size are you?
Okay, fine.
You know it's a 20-minute walk to Nivix.
You're just mad and salty because I beat you in the game.
So I've got
Ral Zarek called for you, and if Ral Zarek calls for you, you don't ignore him.
Fine, special someone. Beep, 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 beep.
I'm wearing what looks like monk
Okay.
If you haven't noticed, I've picked up a few traits from a goblin and a human as a warforged. I am on my way. However, before I do that,
I'm scratching behind the ear. Not actually on the ear.
Where's that?
My ears don't itch like her little.
It's not very often, every once in a while.
Oh, okay, no, I better hold off on that just yet. I'll be finger healed jutsu to myself
Okay.
as I'm doing
Are
it.
you mending?
Yes, amen.
Okay.
You're gonna biff
With the amount of time it takes you to get to Nivix, you can be fully healed.
Yay!
You're gonna biff yourself in the face.
I am biffing myself in the face as I am mending broken servos and my nose job that got crooked from the building.
Your nose is completely like it went from vertical to horizontal.
If all you're doing is mending on your way to Nivix, then you will have reached there. You come to a familiar. You spend a lot of time in Nivix. You know Nivix is the capital for the Izzet League, and several engineers and supervisors will guide you to where you're going. You get deep within the hold, and after about 20 to 25 minutes from his house to Nivix, you know that Nivix is one of the tallest towers in Ravnica, and you've got this big. Everyone, look over here a second. That's Nivix.
Yes.
Cool.
There's a big sort of red energy crystal floating on the top, and this is the home of Izzet League's technology, and where all of the Ismundi are, which are the board of directors. You know that there is, this is a highly technical building. There are elevators, there are screens, there's stuff like that. A receptionist welcomes you, and she says, who are you and what are you doing here?
I am here to see the second in command. Insert name because I forgot already. Raoul. I was gonna say Ra's al Ghul for some reason, but
Ra's al Ghul.
Hey, see his name again. Should probably write that down.
Ral Zarek.
Raoul Zarek.
So between the two of you, you guys almost had it right.
And he's not necessarily the second-hand man, but he's the closest thing you will probably get to Niv Mezit. If you're lucky, in a meeting with him, you might see Niv Mezit. They butt heads a lot.
Yes. I've been reading a lot of lore recently, which is why I'm like, if I'm meeting this guy, then I'm never going to get to meet Mezit, because Mezit's going to be like, oh, you got his stink on you. Which is why I'm kind of angry about it. Go ahead.
You don't have to meet Ral Zarek.
My mentor told me to.
Okay. Yes, I believe he's waiting for you. If you take this elevator and go to the 48th floor.
I just look at him and I go,
In the city.
48?
48th. Get in the damn elevator.
Was that in character
Yes.
or out of character?
That was in character.
I feel like that was a little out of
Like, I'm a
character.
war.
Wait.
Like most.
Hold on.
See, here's the thing, though. is I'm a warforged.
No.
Warforged are not a part of Ravnica, so when I walk into this building, everyone's like, "Let me study you. Let me touch you."
17. Hold on, 18. Yeah, the 23rd floor.
48. Oh, 4d8. Haha, I got it.
So that's the reason why I don't like going here is because me being a warforged, people want to study me, or pull me apart, or add things to me.
Nobody will bother you. Get up there.
I'm in that crack.
We have so much more to deal with today.
Oh, you mean like that siege weapon?
Yes, like that siege weapon. Now, please, go. If you keep messing, she's gonna push you in.
I walk in.
Okay. You find a panel of buttons. You can hit the 48th floor if you want.
I was thinking
That's a
about
good point, Krabby. How much does a
I hit the-
Warforged weigh?
I weigh 1.
Would he
Tower
tower
of
terror?
Terror.
No, he would not, and he doesn't weigh as much as like.
I weigh 190 with my armor
Yeah.
and my shield.
Dang, that's some like really light metal that you're made out of.
I weigh more
Yeah.
than him.
Yep.
How tall are you?
I am 6 foot.
I don't.
Warforges
I don't
are
either.
slender in Eberron, so when we're made, it's like 70.
Okay.
Or no, wait.
Are you
110.
going
Yeah.
to your summon location, or are you gonna f around?
No, I'm totally gonna go to 48.
Okay.
You're not gonna go to 23?
No,
You.
I just had an idea. And no.
The doors open and you enter a hallway. You have been on this floor before. You haven't gone to Ral before, but you know he's here.
I have gone to this before, huh?
Yes, you have.
Am I an errand boys? What this is being?
No.
Okay.
You find Ral's office, and it is a nice large room.
Mhm.
He's got all sorts of tinkering going on. Ooh. Wow, I like that a lot.
Yes.
Joe Patrick.
Yeah, he showed me his Hero Forge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So skinny.
Yep.
Also, I'm made of metal on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like wood and vines.
Cool.
So, you see before you an imposing male human. He, again, there's a picture in Discord. He
I
has,
should probably look at this.
well, I have it right here if you want to look at it.
Okay.
But everyone else is going to need to look at Discord.
He looks like Rise from League of Legends. If he
Yes.
was human.
Yes.
So he's got that sharp, stark, like peppered hair, black and white. You see this giant golden tube on his back. It's always constantly having a little bit of zapping going around. And he's got a golden glove, or a golden gauntlet on the forearm, on his right forearm. He's got all sorts of, he's got all sorts of technology hanging off of him. He's got a pair of goggles and a mask hanging down.
Tamagotchi hanging off of him.
Yeah.
And it's still alive.
And he looks at you, and he, in his office, you also see Quinn Rainwhirl.
I go, I'm in trouble, ain't I?
Oh, quite the contrary, Ral says.
But Quinn's here.
Quinn's here, and he's
I said that out loud, but Quinn's here.
Quinn has suggested you for a little mission I need help with.
Oh. I look at Quinn and I go,
Quinn just got promoted to Ismundi.
Congratulations.
You would recognize Ismundi as the board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn was a senior supervisor, and now he's a director.
I look when I go, you know that's going to make Gary very angry.
Who? Oh, yeah, him. I don't care about him. And Ral looks at you and goes, anyway, whatever. Listen. There's a project I've been working on. and
Hey, Pokemon killer.
I can't give you more details, but it has
It's a Quinn.
it has some alarming results that I need investigated. I would do it myself, but I have to figure out where that girl siege engine came from.
Probably our garage. Some goblin got a little too frisky.
I gotta find that some goblin. I gotta figure out if it was us.
I look at him and I go, well, Stardock was with me playing games and I totally beat him. So, not him.
Who's Stardock?
My mentor. You know, you talked. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I was talking to Quinn. What's up?
I don't know who Stardock is. I barely know any of the goblins that work for us.
This is Quinn or him talking?
Ralph.
Okay, I was just making sure. Say no more. What's up?
And he looks to Quinn. He goes, "Are you sure about this?" And Quinn goes, "Yes." He looks back at you. Do you know about planeswalkers?
Yes, I have studied you thoroughly when I got here.
You don't know.
No. You Ravnica people.
Okay. You might want to clarify that because you don't know if he is one or not.
No. I'm just. In general, there is a term of planeswalker, but I am actually proficient in history, so.
Okay. I have reason to believe there are new ones in the city, and I would hunt them down myself to figure out who they are.
Oh my. That sounds dangerous.
And I open my mouth and I go, do they happen to puff into smoke and then puff back?
That's typically how one planeswalks.
I know who you're
They
talking
disturb the local mana.
about. I know who you're talking about.
You do? Great. Who are they?
I have no idea where they went though.
You just said you know who they were.
Oh, okay, so, and then I explained the story of like, I was like, blah, 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 and I was like, opportunity, and then and then I shield them, and then that story. And but I'm explaining it like that.
And he looks back at Quinn, and I go, "Are you sure?" Yes. Yes.
And then I was like, so they went, and then at the very end, I'm like, so they went to Sunhome to drop off this lady who had a piece of
Rebar.
yeah, and
yeah.
Is she dead?
I mean, she looked kind of dead, but they were escorting her.
How do you look kind of dead?
Look at my body.
Well, like, you know, if you get stabbed by something, you can still live. You humans are like that, right?
This is painful.
This is amusing.
I see. My character goes on the explanation of when he first got here. He was mentored by a goblin, and Warforges usually imprint on the first race that
Oh
gets them.
God.
That's awesome.
So he is very scatterbrained.
Yes.
Scatterbrained. Like
Scatterbutt?
Scatterbutt.
Scatterbrained.
Find these planeswalkers and report them back to me.
They're, the last time I saw him was Sunhome, so I had to go to Boros, and they really don't like us right now. Siege engine. Good job. That wasn't Darrell, that was...
Xanth that was going to get in trouble.
You're starting to feel kind of mellow.
So, out of character,
Kyle
you've
looks
heard of
mellow
Raoul
right
before. You may not
Yes.
have met him in person. He has a giant ego, and you do not want to bruise it.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I just bruised it a little bit because I'm...
He will actually shoot a lightning bolt at you.
Oh, okay. That would kind of suck.
He puts out his hand and he
Roll a dex save.
rolls X save.
I have an idea. Before he does that.
I'm sorry.
See this? That's what's coming for you.
This is just too entertaining. I love it.
Oh, dang it, it's an action, it's not a reaction.
Oh, that sucks.
That
Roll an X save.
sucks.
Roll Dex save.
I love your tone of voice, Patrick. Oh, that sucks.
That
Roll the dex
sucks.
save.
I was gonna like, oh, reduce. But that would.
Him or yourself?
Oh, hey, 15.
Okay. You take 14 points of lightning damage.
I just buffed that out!
Quin's like,
You did it to yourself, genius.
all I need from you is to get the names and where they might be. I know you said they might be at Sunhome. We can get you into Sunhome. I can get you into Sunhome. Niv can get you into Sunhome. Okay?
If I could smile as a warforged, just
I'll get that damn dragon. I will get that damn dragon to sign a missive for you. But
throw my name in there, right?
name and where?
My name, my rank. Well, I'm a good boy.
And what rank are you again?
My head just...
Quinn kind of laughs and he goes, he doesn't have one. Oh, well, how about you do this and we'll get you one. I will get a missive from the Firemind, and you will go to Sunhome and find those planeswalkers. You don't have to do anything with them, you just have to know who they are. Get their names and bring them back to me.
I put my finger up and I go. So, how many were there? Just making sure.
As far as my detection goes, there are 2 or 3.
Okay, so there were 2 people that poofed, 1 who didn't poof.
We already know, by the way, before you come back with false results, we already know who Jace is, we already know who Chandra is, and we already know who Teferi is.
You know where I was going with this. Dang you.
I've got information.
I always just want to say, well, Jace and Sandra were there, so that's 2, so I win, right? I'm good?
Here's the deal, okay? This thing I have that detects planeswalkers, it went off, I believe, 3 more times after Jace and Teferi and Chandra were already here.
Okay.
So...
I can have that device, right?
No, you most certainly may not.
Okay, so how am I supposed
I can't give it to you. It's not a portable thing.
You're such a goblin. I love it.
Okay, so I just gotta remember what they look like, try to find these people.
Do you know how to use pen and paper?
Correct, but one moment, please. As I'm saying, I will visually confirm them, and you want me to bring them back here.
No, I said you don't have to bring them here. I said please just give me their names and descriptions.
Do you have a device that detects their name and descriptions and tells them where they're at after that point?
You!
Oh!
You're the device!
Got it! Okay.
Grabby. Shiny click like the dragon.
And as I'm sitting here thinking about this, there's this other side of my brain that's just like, if I attach a mega laser to my Eldritch cannon, then I can go boom! But, okay.
Any other questions that are relevant? You're dismissed.
If these people are no longer living, do you still want to know their names? Because I can't really talk to them if they're dead, but I can maybe get like someone who can talk to the dead to find out their names.
Buddy, it is very hard to kill a planeswalker. I strongly believe they are not dead.
Oh, okay. Cool. Bye.
Okay.
As he goes in, I just want all the Advil in the world now.
This is amazing.
Okay.
Except for it's not toddler mirror and it's toddlers and all.
I'm not a toddler. I'm a real warforged.
You're a goblin.
And the blue fairy is about to kick your
Almost
He's a
like
goblin and I'm feeling smart as Jeffrey.
I'm a warforged goblin with an intelligence of 19.
Wow.
I'm a strength
and
of
a
9.
wisdom of 8.
Okay, so before we leave off, I just want to go back to Hatika and Katarina and Kaylin for a bit. Kaylin, what is your plan? Because at the moment, Hatika and Katarina are probably going back to their Vernati.
And we would, of course,
Why
offer
do I
to
keep
bring it
thinking-
back with
Every
us.
single time you say that word, I'm just
I'm
thinking,
just gonna follow you. By the way, I don't know if I don't remember your names. What are your names again?
Katarina.
Katarina,
I'm Hatika.
Tika.
You can remember her
Kaylin, by
name
the
very
way.
easily.
Cat. You can call me
Arena.
Cat for short.
Okay.
Hey, cat.
You can call me Hitika for short.
And I know it seems a bit strange, but to end for tonight, I just want a brief description of everybody's character one more time. That way
I think that's fair because
you all get a good idea.
Yeah.
So we will start with Zeke.
Oh, hi. I'm a Warforged. I wear a shield. I usually have an Eldritch cannon that's either small or tiny attached to my shoulder. I have goggles.
And he's a robot.
And I'm a robot. Beep boop.
That
I have the
was
personality of a goblin.
beat boo.
Andras.
I am Andras. I am a high moon elf, cleric of Selune. I have, I am 5'6". I have silver hair that I typically wear in a long braid. I have blue eyes with silver flecks, and my skin is pale with a bluish tint. Also, I'm right-handed.
Go you.
And I'm also the walking Rosetta Stone.
The other walking Rosetta Stone character you have.
When you're finished, Kaylin.
I am Kaylin. I am a wood elf. I am 5 feet tall. I have short curly brown hair, bright green eyes, tan skin. I'm ambidextrous, and I am a Way of the Open Hand monk.
Hitika.
Yes, I am Hitika. I am a Furbolg druid wearing, I guess we'll just say, sort of like a plaid kilt and shirt or tunic. I am 8 feet tall and 350 pounds of mostly muscle. Short brown hair, short beard, and hairy forearms, hairy ears, light gray skin. And I am, yep.
You are, yep. You are also a member of the Selesnya Conclave.
Selesnya Conclave, yes. Sorry.
Zeke is a member of the Izzet League.
If you didn't notice. After getting lightning bolt.
Xanthit.
I am Xanthip. I am a half-orc who once was a fighter but now is a bard and still has part lock in him. And I am very much about opportunity and getting myself rich through any scheme that I can possibly concoct.
He's a charlatan.
I am very much a charlatan. I am all about the long con. And my biggest thing right now is I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing on this plane and how I can make it work in my favor. 6'1", decently well built, and now I can play a lute.
Very well. Great. And last but not least, Katarina.
I am 5'6". I'm a Tabaxi Ranger rogue. I have really dark, smoky, gray fur. I actually have hair that comes down and is in a braid on the side, so it's like braided to the side. I'm like only 120 pounds. I have my bow with me at all times.
How tall are you?
5'6".
Oh, so you are actually like almost the exact same build as Andras.
Except for cat.
And she is a member of the Selesnya Conclave.
Yes.
Yep. So, that's it for tonight. This is session 0. DM RepinWolf, and I don't know if this next slot is Curse of Strahd or Wanderers for the next one.
We'll announce that.
We'll get that figured out.
Say with all the
Shutdowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Oh, wait.
Oh, honey.
Wait, wouldn't it be Saltmarsh?
Well, next Wednesday is
Oh,
not
crap.
I said next slot.
Gotcha.
We'll figure it out. It'll either be Curse of Strahd or Session 2 of Wanderers. And then, let's see, Saturday will be Loramir. Sunday will be Dungeon of the Mad Mage. And
you still have a spot.
I still have a spot. And thank you to Syrinscape for providing audio. Anything else?
Nah, stick around half a second. We're gonna go raid somebody.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing with that, so do you want to take
I already got it.
control of that? Okay.
He has the power.
All I need
Should I
you to
press
do
any
is-
buttons?
All I need you to do is hit 9.
9? Okay.
Hit 9.
You mean 4.5?
Yes,
4.5.
Alright.
Hit her right in
See
the
you guys
face.
on Saturday.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.